Good evening, hello, and welcome to the Champions League Watch Along Live. That's it. We are back once again for the Goal Show. It is match day 3, and it's the final match day for the next couple of weeks before the Champions League takes a break. And it is a very significant match day across the board for many teams, of course. Some teams could go unbeaten in 3 games. Other teams desperately need points tonight. With kickoff of those games in about just under 10 minutes time. We've got 10 minutes to go through all of the teams' lineups, quick questions, and put your comments in the chat as always. If you're new to the stream, do leave a like and a subscription. It's always very, very greatly appreciated as we push towards 1,300 subscribers. But of course, as always, we are quite strict on time. So we're going to go into the lineups and we'll bring the boys in one by one to tell you, of course, who is covering each of the games tonight. Kickoff in 10 minutes time. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. It's very busy indeed. And the first game tonight, the 2 games that I'm going to be keeping my close eye out on. The first game is Manchester City against Olympiakos tonight across the Etihad Stadium. As you can see, it's a 4-3-3 for Manchester City tonight. Ederson is in goal, a back 4 of Zinchenko, Ake, Stones and Walker. Midfield 3 of Phil Foden, Gundogan and De Bruyne. And then up top tonight, Sterling is on the left, Mahrez is on the right, and up top tonight, interesting, of course, no strikes for Manchester City, but they're going to use Ferran Torres as the striker tonight, a different tactical tweak of the system for Pep Guardiola. Of course, Jesus and Aguero both still out with injuries, so a real shame for them. Will Ferran Torres keep up his form? We'll have to find out, of course, as this game goes on. And then you can see the lineup as well. For Olympiakos tonight, it is a 4-3-3 for the Greek side. Jose Sarr is in goal, back 4 of Jose Holobas, former Watford man, Cisse, Ruben Semedo, and former Bayern Munich fullback Rafinha. Midfield 3 of Kamara, Buchalakais, and Envia. And then up top, we've got Valbuena, El Arabi, and Rangelovic. So we'll be interested tonight to see whether Olympiakos can do something very similar to what they did against Arsenal in the Europa League last season, of course. Can they get a win against City? We'll have to find out in just a moment's time. Let's see quickly in the chat. Chris has put, hi lads, hope you're well. Aren't I lucky? Both of my teams playing my local team, Carlisle at home to Newport, and my other team, Liverpool, away to Atalanta in tricky game. I'd have probably said the Carlisle one is a pretty tricky one as well. And the Benalas in the chat, as always, says, rest in peace, Shakhtar. Of course, we'll very quickly talk about that when the games do kick off in just a moment's time. As I said, I've got another game to cover tonight. So this is the other game we're going to keep my close eye out on. And the main game I'm actually going to keep my eyes out on tonight is Porto-Marseille. 4-3-3 for the Portuguese side at home today. Marquezin, the Argentinian goalkeeper, is in goal. Back 4 of Sanusi. Malang Sarr on loan from Chelsea, of course. Chancellor Mbemba, recognisable player to former Newcastle fans. Well, not former Newcastle fans. Newcastle fans in general. He's a former Newcastle player, of course. And Manafa is playing at right back. Midfield 3 of Sergio Oliveira, Uribe and Otavio. And then up top tonight is 3. Luis Diaz on the left, Corona on the right, and Marega in the middle. Of course, Marega has been quite a prevalent player for Porto over the last couple of years. Whether he can get a goal tonight or not, we will have to find out very shortly indeed. And then this is the Marseille lineup tonight. They're going for a 4-4-2. Could be a 4-2-2 technically on paper. This is 4-2-2 according to the UCL website. But you can see in goal is Mandanda, back 4 of Amabi, Kalatakar, Alvaro and Sakai. Midfield 4/2, you could say it's Rongier and Kamara as the 2 defensive players, then Sanson and Payet as the 2 attacking midfielders. Could be a 4-4-2 as well, Payet on the left, Sanson on the right. And then, of course, up top, Benedetto and Florian Thauvin. A position he's started to play a little bit more is that striker role rather than being on the wing. So whether that works out tonight or not, we will have to find out very shortly. So they are the 2 games I'm going to be covering tonight. Of course, 7 minutes until kickoff of those games. So we'll have to find out what happens in those 2 indeed. But let's start bringing the boys in because this is a crucial game tonight. It's the biggest match on paper out of all of the fixtures in terms of these 2 teams. And most importantly, it is a big match tonight for Real Madrid. Of course, we said a moment ago that Shakhtar Donetsk lost 6-0 to Gladbach, which means it puts the German side into the driving seat. And most importantly, Real Madrid needs to get results. And watching this game tonight is Kieran. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm as good as always. You can see on the screen the Real Madrid lineup, of course, 4-3-3 for the home side today. Courtois is in goal, back four of Mendy, Varane, Sergio Ramos, and Lucas Vazquez, who started playing as a right back quite recently. Of course, Carvajal has been out injured over these last couple of weeks. Midfield three, Valverde, Casemiro, and Kroos. And then up top tonight is Hazard, Benzema, and Asensio. Vinicius Jr. drops out of the lineup, of course. You're probably aware of some of the stuff that did go on online, of course. Benzema telling a couple of things to Mendy about Vinicius Jr. not passing to him. He's in the lineup tonight, of course. Hazard steps into his place. And then for Inter Milan tonight, of course, they go for a 3-5-2. Handanovic is in goal. Back three of Bastoni, De Vrij, and D'Ambrosio. They're the three centre-backs. Midfield five, you've got Ashley Young on the left, Hakimi on the right, and then the midfield three of Vidal, Brozovic, and Brella. And then up top tonight, no Romelu Lukaku on the bench or in the team. Ivan Perisic starts up top tonight with Lautaro Martinez. Question for you, Kieran. Two questions, in fact, very quickly. Number one, of course, for Real Madrid tonight, the pressure is on them. Inter Milan have a great chance here to really put Real Madrid in a dire position. Do you think they can do it?
Yeah, I think they can. If we looked at Real Madrid's past home performance in Europe against Shakhtar, really disappointing. One of the worst in recent memory from a Real Madrid team. It's like one team for Real Madrid turns up in the league, as we saw on the weekend when they dispatched, I can't remember who it was, but 4-0. And then a different team in Europe who've yet to get out the gates, took a 3-0 home behind defeat to Shakhtar, and then 2-0 down to Mönchengladbach. So if Inter can get off to a fiery start, I think they'll be much more difficult to break down than either Shakhtar or Gladbach. So if they have to come from behind, I'll back Inter Milan all the way.
It's going to be interesting indeed. Of course, very quickly, Inter Milan, without Lukaku, how big of a miss is he going to be today?
Oh, it's massive. You know, Perisic was the saviour on the weekend to rescue a 2-2 draw, but he's not the same mould as Lukaku. They can't hold the ball up as well as they used to. You know, Lukaku's been a brilliant finisher. He scores lots of goals for them. He's clearly their top goal scorer, but he also brings others into play. And he's so pivotal to the way Inter Milan want to break down teams. So I think it'll be a massive miss. But Perisic isn't any slouch, so it should be a good one.
It should be a good game indeed. Thank you very much, KL. Bring you back, of course, when the goals do go in. We'll go to our next game now, of course. It's a busy Champions League night across the board. Very quickly, we'll look at the chat. Calspot, hi guys. If Gladbach win their next match, Inter win their next two, including tonight, and Shakhtar draw with Real, then Real Madrid will be eliminated from the group stages. He's hoping we'll have to find out what happens there. And then Chris has predicted 2-0 to Real Madrid. Manchester City 3, Olympiakos 1, and Atalanta 1, Liverpool 2. Which, in fact, we're going to go on to our next game, which is indeed Atalanta-Liverpool. And, of course, he's a Liverpool fan and Liverpool correspondent in terms of our Champions League games. It is Will who's watching this game tonight. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm not bad, but how are you?
I'm doing good as always. You can see on the screen here is the Atalanta lineup, a 3-4-1-2/3-4-3 for the Italian side tonight. Sportiello is in goal, back three of Palomino, Jim City, and Toloi. Midfield four, Majika on the left, Hateboer on the right, Frollin Pasalic in the middle. Gomez playing as the cam, and then up top tonight is Zapata and Muriel. And then the Liverpool lineup is a 4-3-3 for the away side, of course. Alisson is in goal, back four of Robertson, Williams, Gomez, and Alexander-Arnold. Midfield three, Curtis Jones, Wijnaldum and Henderson. And then up top tonight is Mane, Salah, and Diogo Jota in the middle. Very quickly, Will, of course, big test tonight. But do you think this is Liverpool's biggest test in the Champions League so far this season?
Definitely. I mean, when the group stages got announced, obviously, I think this is definitely the game that I looked and thought was the hardest for Liverpool. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, losing Van Dijk as well, we've got a young kid sat in the back in Reece Williams, and Atlanta's strength is their goal scoring. So it's going to be a tough test, but I'm hoping we win. We definitely are the stronger team, I think, but it's definitely the hardest team in the group, in my opinion.
It definitely is indeed. Thank you very much. Well, he'll be covering the Atalanta-Liverpool game today, bring it back a little bit when there's a couple of opportunities. Of course, we've got 2 minutes to go, so I'm going to try and race through this very quickly. The next game tonight, of course, Red Bull Salzburg taking on Bayern, the Champions League winners. Have got a very tough test against the side that nearly sneaked a result against Atletico Madrid. And covering this game today is Kieran D. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm all good. Are you?
I'm good as always. Thank you very much. Here's the lineups for the two sides tonight. 4-4-2 for Red Bull Salzburg. Stankovic is in goal, back four of Ulmer, Voba, Romaglio and Christensen. Midfield four of Sobslai on the left and Wepu on the right, Junuzovic and Kamara. And then up top tonight, there is no Patson Daka. It's Koita and Berisha up top. Of course, Berisha did score against Atletico Madrid last week. And then Bayern Munich, they're going for a 4-2-3-1. It's the usuals as always. Neuer is in goal, back four, Fernandes, Alaba, Boateng and Pavard as the right back. Defensive midfield two of Tolisso and Kimmich. Attacking three of Koeman on the left, Gnabry on the right and Muller in the middle. And Lewandowski up top. Very quick question as always, Kieran. Red Bull Salzburg, as I said a moment ago, nearly picked up quite a decent result against Atletico Madrid. Of course, lost 3-2 in the end. It's their biggest test tonight against the Champions League winners. Do you think he's going to be a walk in the park tonight for Bayern? Or do you think Salzburg can give him a very good test?
I think it could go either one of the two ways that you said right there. I think Bayern Munich are a very strong team, but they've got to respect the Salzburg lineup. They've got some decent players in there, of course, as Boslai and massive miss Patson Daka, but I'm sure Berisha and Koita up front will give Boateng and Alaba a run for their money, and it should be a fun game to watch.
It should be a good game indeed. Thank you very much, KD. We'll bring you back a little bit. Of course, the games have started, which means I'm going to very quickly get through these last lineups. Of course, there's another game going on tonight, and it's an interesting one, this one. Midtjylland are taking on Ajax, and to watch this game, of course, he's always with us. He's an icon. He's a legend. He's usually the Sevilla correspondent, and they're not playing today, but he's got an interesting game between Midtjylland and Ajax. It's Rowan, how are we doing? You are on mute, by the way, before you start talking.
I know, we're eating my food. Yeah, I'm doing great. Looking forward to this game.
Good. I just know sometimes, usually we leave our mics on mute. It's usually us two doing it. But you can see Midtjylland on the screen right now, 4-2-3-1 for the Danish side tonight. Anderson is in goal, back for Paulini on the left, Anderson on the right. The two centre-backs, Scholz and Shevchenko. Defensive midfield two of Kajust and Onyenka. Attacking three of Mobile, Sisto in the middle and Dreyer on the right. And Kappa is up top. Well, for Ajax tonight, it was believed there was going to be quite a lot of players missing in terms of COVID. A few players picking up COVID, but it doesn't look like they're missing a great deal of players tonight. 4-3-3 for the Ajax side. Anana is in goal. Tagliafico at left back. Two centre-backs of Blind and Schurz. And then at right back is Mazraoui. Midfield three of Gravenberch, Martinez and Ekkelenkamp. And then up top tonight is Promes on the left. Anthony on the right. Tadic in the middle. Midtjylland, Rowan, they thought they might have had a quite decent opportunity in this game to go out there and get a victory tonight. But,
it's 1-0.
Looking at this side, they've got quite a few decent players.
Well, it's 1-0.
Who's who?
Ajax. As soon as you're doing the thing, I could see Ajax. Quincy Promes on the
there
wing.
We go.
I don't know who's poked it in there, but it was Quincy Promes just held it on the wing. Cross it in the box. No Michelin players get onto it. No one gets onto it. Who is that? I can't see who that is. I'll let you know in the chat. But yeah, for Ajax, obviously, I'm going to say what I was saying before the goal. Look out for Dreyer. Dreyer was great against Slavia. He really brought back him. By the way, it's Dusan Tadic who does a lovely little spin to get the ball under control. He squares it all the way up to the other side of the pitch to someone. Ajax will have to look out to Dreyer. Dreyer was so key for them getting through to the actual Champions League main. And Midtjylland just going to look out for that goal scoring threat. Obviously, Ajax, I think, is it 7 goals? I think it's like nearly 20 goals in the past 3 games or something. So they've got to look out for the goal scoring threat. It was Anthony, by the way, who pokes it in.
It's absolutely incredible. We didn't even get time to really talk through things properly. Thank you very much, Rowan. We've already had a goal on the night.
Yeah.
Obviously, indeed. It's very quick in terms of how things have gone here. Well, what? About a minute into the game, I'm guessing the goal went in?
48 seconds.
48 seconds. Unbelievable. 48 seconds between the start of that match and the first goal. But what a start for your game, Rowan. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. We'll bring you back in a little bit. And there's no time to really rest right now because we're going straight to Will. Of course, all the games have kicked off now. We have had a chance in this game between Liverpool and Atalanta. I expect there's going to be a lot of chances tonight in this fixture. But who's had the first chance of the game, Will?
Liverpool have had the first chance, and you know what? It probably should be 1-0. Curtis Jones picks up on the right-hand side, plays it to the man in form, Diogo Jota, who he kind of dummies the ball and it offsets the defender. He then runs past another defender. It's on his left foot. He just can't get it out of his feet, and it's an easy save for the goalkeeper. But a big chance for Jota to make it 1-0 to Liverpool. But yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see a lot of chances tonight in this game. It
should be a very busy game indeed. Thank you very much, Will, as always. And well, What a start to the Champions League fixtures tonight. We've already had a goal on the board within the first 2 minutes of these Champions League fixtures. Of course, Ajax taking a 1-0 lead very quickly in their game tonight. Of course, hopefully we do get plenty of chances across the board this evening. So the main game that I'm going to be keeping my close eyes out on is the Porto-Marseille game. In fact, I'm very tempted to flick over to the Man City game just because we've got a Premier League side involved in this fixture. I think it's worth just keeping an eye out for it instead, which is what I'm going to do exactly right now. Let me quickly flick over to that game. But a very busy night indeed. We've got some very big games across the board. As I said, of course, I'm going to keep my eyes out on the Man City one, so let me flick that around. There we go. And let's have a quick look at the comments. Of course, if you're on your stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. It is always very, very greatly appreciated indeed. We are pushing towards 1,700 subscribers. I've just seen KD telling me to put the Porto game back on, and I probably should, but I'll keep flicking between the two. And in fact, I tell you what, I'm going to flick back to it because I've just seen there has actually been a goal in that game. It is 1-0 to Porto. We're about 4 minutes into this match, and I'm going to quickly see what's happened there in a moment. But very quickly, we are going to flick over to KD because there has been a goal in his game. Nice early start to these matches tonight. Of course, Salzburg taking on Bayern Munich. The question is, who's opened the scoring, Kieran?
Red Bull Salzburg take the lead against the reigning Champions League defenders, I guess. But it's come from absolutely nothing. It's a long ball forward, and number 7, I think it is Koiter. It is. Who might be the smallest person on the pitch, manages to win the header, knock it down. He runs past a few players. He absolutely mishits a shot. It deflects to Berisha, who just slots it past Neuer into the net. 1-0 Salzburg, and that goal has opened the group up if it stays like that.
It has indeed. What a start for Red Bull Salzburg. Thank you very much, KD. And what a crazy start to the night because, as I said a moment ago, just as I was about to flick off the Porto game, it is 1-0 to Porto. And it's Moussa Marega, as the boys call him. He's the submarine striker, and he's put Porto into the lead after 5 minutes. It was a really good, well-worked goal from Porto. Corona blitzing down that right-hand side. He sprays the ball into the middle of the box, and Marega there to put it into the back of the net. And, well, we talked about Marseille before, struggling in their fixtures. They lost quite comprehensively to Manchester City last week in the Champions League. They are already 1-0 down in their fixture against Porto. Should be an interesting game indeed. And as I said, I am going to flick between the two matches tonight. I might have to keep the Porto game now. Just a bonkers start indeed. And then, as Kieran said a moment ago, just actually looking at that Red Bull Salzburg goal now. And it is a very heavy deflection on the ball in terms of the original shot. And Red Bull Salzburg take the lead. And, well, they were fantastic against Atletico Madrid last week. Did really, really well indeed, and was a little bit unfortunate that it didn't come out with at least a point in that game. But they've taken the lead against the reigning champions Bayern Munich, and of course, they were actually in a very tricky position against Lokomotiv Moscow last week. A very, very tight game of football. But we've already had 3 goals within the first 5 minutes of these fixtures tonight. There is certainly no time to sit back and relax in these fixtures. But of course, we're going to go through your comments today. Do tell us in the chat which games you are keeping a very close eye out on. It'd be interesting to see which games everybody's watching across the board tonight. And while it's gone a little bit quiet for a second, let's have a quick gander at the chat and see how you guys are doing. Hopefully you're all good and well. Let's just have a quick look. Of course, loads of messages in the chat. Bernardo putting Real Madrid are on the ropes. I think Inter win today, 2-0 Lukaku. To score both. Of course, Lukaku's missing in this game, so unfortunately, he can't score those 2 goals. You might have to change that up slightly, Bernardo, with your prediction. Chris saying, I got my Liverpool home shirt on with the Firmino on the back, Champions League badges, and World Champions badge on my shirt. Tough test for Williams and Gomez against that Atlanta 3 of Gomez, Zapata, and Muriel. It's a tough test tonight for those players, of course. Really, really good attacking side, Atalanta, of course, one of the best in Europe, you could say indeed. But I hope an English team does well. Need my William Hill stocks to go up with a good smile, of course. You'll have to see tonight. Not had any goals yet from the 2 Premier League sides playing. Chris has then put Gomez man for Atalanta. Without him, they're not the same team. And the front 2 aren't the same too. And I do agree with you on that one. He's such a good player on his day, such an eccentric player that I think is key to that side. And hopefully we'll be able to see him do quite well tonight, of course, as well. We'd just like to see goals in that game because 2 very good attacking sides on their day. I think when the Champions League draw actually took place, a lot of us really wanted to have a proper goal fest in this match, and hopefully it can live up to expectations. Carlos Paul will be watching Inter Real going for 3-0 into win. Of course, we said earlier that the pressure is on Real Madrid tonight to go out there and get a victory. For Inter Milan, of course, what they can do, if they can get a win against Real, it's going to put the home side under a lot of pressure to get through into the next stages of the Champions League. Chris has put Rowan, a buzzing Oldham fan. What a win for them, of course. Good win tonight for Oldham. And then Bernard's put, can Ajax pull another 13-0? We'll have to find out. They've already got one goal in the first couple of minutes. They just need another 12 more goals against Watchalongs, of course. And then Chris has put, don't worry, Josh, I'm watching Liverpool and Carlisle at the same time. It's very hectic. You know the feeling when you've got two games on at the same time. It's an absolutely crazy one. And we have a penalty. What a start to this game between Porto and Marseille, because Chancellor Mbemba has just gifted a penalty to Marseille, and it's Florian Thauvin inside of the box. And Mbemba is absolutely a penalty. There's no bother even having to check this. And of course, VAR won't check this decision. And it's the right decision from the referee to point straight to the spot. And we could have 2 goals within the first 10 minutes here. So let's see what happens. Of course, Porto took the lead within the first couple of minutes. It was about 3 or 4 minutes into the game, and Moussa Marega slotted the ball into the back of the net. And now we could have a chance here for an early equaliser from Marseille, and there's no complaints from the Porto players. They, recognise that it is a penalty, and of course the Marseille players delighted that they've got this chance here. So let's see what happens. Referee just talking to the goalkeeper, of course, Marquezine, on the line, and the player to step up to the spot is Dimitri Payet, whose hair is looking quite sensational, to be honest with you. He's got really nice squiggly hair. Looks like he's going for an afro. He steps up to the spot, and he's missed it. Well, that is a quite shockingly bad penalty from Dimitri Payet. Looks fairly comfortable coming up to the spot there. Usually a very good player in terms of set pieces. He tries to hit it into the top right-hand corner and puts a little bit too much power on the ball. And just like that, Porto have been let off with a really poor penalty from Dimitri Payet. So it stays 1-0 here. And we could go across the board now. Really good start to this Champions League night in terms of the opportunities. Let's quickly go over to KD, because there has been a chance in that game between Red Bull Salzburg and Bayern Munich, of course. Salzburg taking the lead early on. The question is, have they continued their early dominance in the game, KD?
Well, as expected, Bayern Munich have come back into the game a little bit, and I can't quite understand how Lewandowski hasn't put this away. I'd have bet my house on him scoring it 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he smashes it wide. He was offside, only narrowly, but it's a massive chance for Bayern Munich. I would have expected Lewandowski to be burying that, but they've come back into the game in the last 5 or so minutes, and they're absolutely dominating. I would expect them to score quite soon.
I would indeed. Of course, there'll be a lot of fans tonight hoping that Bayern Munich don't lose this game, of course, on their rackers. Thank you very much, Kay.
What a block the line! What a block that is! I think it's Romalho. Ooh. And Serge Gnabry denied an equaliser. Still 1-0.
Well, I very nearly left then. We could have had a goal. Thank you very much, KD. Could have been a good chance there to make it 1-1. Of course, as it currently stands, Red Bull Salzburg are going to have a lot of defending to do tonight if they want to hold on to what would be a very historic win for the Austrian side. Of course, they've had some famous results in the last couple of seasons. Can they hold on to what would surely be their biggest result in their recent history? We'll have to find out, of course, as it stands. Still Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 0. And we're going to go over to the main game of the night, I think, in terms of the two sides. Real Madrid, Inter Milan, as it currently stands, 0-0 in this game. In fact, I'm going to have to come back to him in a second. Sorry, Kale, you're about to come in because there's a penalty that's been given in that Red Bull Salzburg Bayern Munich game. Take it away, KD.
Well, I apologise to KL, but Bayern Munich have got a penalty. It's such a clumsy challenge from, I think it's the man who's just made the block on the line. Makes the clumsy challenge on Hernandez. Can never remember which one it is, and it's a penalty at Bayern Munich. And if you want to go to KL, because they're probably going to review it on VAR. No, they're not actually, but Lewandowski's stepping up to take it. I'll put it in the chat if it goes in.
That's all right. I'll keep with you very quickly because that was a very clumsy, very, very clumsy tackle on Lucas Hernandez. Really, really poor indeed. And of course, now we have a good chance here for Bayern Munich to level up the score as it currently stands. It is 1-0 to Red Bull Salzburg. Lewandowski up on the spot. Take it away, Kenny.
Yeah, I think I'd bet my absolute house on him scoring this, but the referee is running it over to the monitor to just check on the situation. I'm not quite sure why he's going to check that because to me that looks stone wall. But Yeah.
I'll come back to you in a moment because there's
No
other
worries.
things going on right now. Let me come back in a second. There has been a goal in the game between Midtjylland and Ajax. Rowan, who has scored? Is it Midtjylland or is it Ajax?
Well, poor KL, he hadn't even had a chance, but we had an indirect free kick. It was an accidental pass. Anthony ran through and it was passed back by, I think it's Svitchenko passed back to goalkeeper. So Ajax got an indirect free kick. Promes and Tadic stood over it. Promes laid it off. Tadic just really nice finish. Normally you just see him leather it straight at the net. Kurt just puts a little bit of whip on it. Comes off a defender straight into the net. 2-0 Ajax. Racing indirect free kick, but it was lovely to see.
You don't see him often, but Ajax will absolutely take it right now.
Yeah.
2-0 to the good. And Midtjylland, they've got a long way to go now. I mean, of course, Shakhtar tonight, we saw them lose.
Well, they
6-0.
do. Sold up, sorry. Sisto whips the ball in, and that's awful.
Very unlucky indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. 2-0 to Ajax. What a start to the night. Honestly, crazy. Thank you very much, Rowan. Now, we should be able to go to KL. We'll come back, of course, with the Bayern Munich one. It has been given us no penalty, so we'll come back to KD in a second. But let's get Kieran Ellie because he has been waiting a little bit. Real Madrid and Inter Milan. We had a chance a moment ago. Who had that chance, KL?
I'll be honest, Josh. It's been so long since the chances. I've got no idea which chance I'm talking about. There's been plenty of chances in this game. Real Madrid had one early, which again, I think about 5 goals went in, so you never saw, which Valverde nearly clipped the top of the crossbar, but it was saved by Handanovic. Then Inter Milan did hit the crossbar. Barella was stretching on the header, and he almost scored. Then there was a brilliant save up the other end by Courtois, which that was from Martinez. Then Vidal's just hit the side netting. I'm trying to get them all in at once, Josh. I'll be honest, so you don't have to come back for a while.
It's chaotic tonight because I'm going to have to go because there's been another goal. It is mental tonight. Thank you very much, KL, as always. Hopefully we get a goal soon because it sounds like a very good game indeed.
Okay.
But we have a goal in the Manchester City game against Olympiakos. The question is, who has scored? Will you be surprised? The answer is, of course, not. Manchester City have taken the lead. And it's that man, Ferran Torres. Well, we questioned whether tonight he would be able to take on that striker mould and do very well for Manchester City. Of course, missing Gabriel Jesus and Aguero. And he already has a goal in this game, 15 minutes in. And just looking at the opportunity right now, it was a ball that was spread to De Bruyne. A lovely 1-2 football between De Bruyne and Ferran Torres. He's just outside the box, De Bruyne. Sprays the ball into the path of Ferran Torres first time, who's running down that left wing towards the left-hand side of the post, slots it into the back of the net. And Manchester City have taken the lead against Olympiakos. What a start to that game, of course. And what a start to the night. I haven't even been able to get to your comments. I will get to them very shortly indeed. It is a hectic night. Going to have to go to Will, though, because there's been a goal in that Liverpool-Atalanta game. The question is, who scored the goal? Will?
It's 1-0 to Liverpool, and it's Diogo Jota again. He's on scintillating form at the moment, and it's a goal that's come from Trent Alexander-Arnold balling behind, and Jota makes a lovely run on the last shoulder of the last defender. He outstrips the defender, and the keeper comes flying out. So I'm thinking, can he get the shot off? And he just dinks it over him. It's a lovely finish. Really, really cool finish from Diogo Jota, and he makes it 1-0 Liverpool. 15 minutes gone. I think Liverpool have been the better side, but Atalanta are still dangerous. So this game's far from over yet.
Thank you very much, Will. Diogo Jota on the form of his life right now. What a transfer signing that was for Liverpool in the window. We're going to go over to KD now. It is mental tonight. This is what we love to see. It's hectic. We spoke to him a moment ago. Bayern Munich, they had a penalty, which then wasn't given by VAR as a penalty. Now we're going to go over because there was a goal that's been given as an offside. KD, what is going on in this game?
Well, I think I might need some new glasses because I said, oh, what a save by Neuer. Oh, my God, it was almost 2-0. Ramallo was the chance from the corner, and he heads it. It's a great header, bullet header, and Neuer pulls off a great save. But the penalty incident, I must need some new glasses because he's not even touched him. He's not even gone anywhere near Hernandez. It was actually judged a foul by Hernandez on the Salzburg player himself. The goal, however, what a finish by Serge Gnabry. It's just a shame he was a yard offside. It was an absolute fantastic finish, but Salzburg got a dangerous free kick in a dangerous position about 20 yards out, left-hand side wide. Can get a ball in the box, and of course, they've just had the ball in the box and made the chance. If they get another one, it could be a very, very good night for them. But Bayern Munich, you can never back against them, and they're looking very, very good so far.
You cannot back against them, indeed. Thank you very much, KD. Still currently 1-0 to Red Bull Salzburg in this game. And I tell you what, we have an enthralling game on our hand because there's been a goal in the Midtjylland-Ajax game. Have Ajax made it 3-0 or are Midtjylland back into it? Rowan?
It's game on. It's Midtjylland, and it's lovely. Kudus takes it from probably his own halfway line, gets it around just in between the box and the halfway line. Outside of the ball to the wing to Dreyer. I said he was going to be a man I had to be worried about. It looks like he's going to shoot with his right, with the outside of his foot. Cuts inside, finesses it with his left, swings it to the right. Onana's not getting to it. Great finish by Dreyer. And I've got a great game.
What a lovely goal that is. There is no chance that is getting saved. It's a really, really good finish. And what a match. 3 goals in 18 minutes. This sounds like it's going to be an enthralling game of football. And of course, Midtjylland, they were 2-0 down. How have they been? Of course, they've got the goal now, but how have they been overall in these first 20 minutes?
They do look shaky at the back. Svitchenko has played some woeful passes, to be honest with you. And I don't see Midtjylland winning this, but I do see there being goals. I really do. Midtjylland have had moments where they've tried to build up attacks with... It's more with the wing-backs, really. Well, not even the wing-backs, just the full-backs. More Anderson and Dreyer linking up on that right side. Oh, there was so much acres of space there. I think it was Paulinho on the left. He could have got it there. I mean, Midtjylland are coming... It's really been back and forth. Ball cross comes in, back post. Gone all the way out. But Midtjylland, both teams have shown that they can score the goals. I don't think it's definitely not over yet. Definitely
isn't. What a start to the Champions League tonight. Thank you very much, Rowan. It's Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. Ajax were 2-0 up now. Midtjylland are back into it. That could be the game of the night from the sounds of things. Right, let's go to the comments. We've got a chance here to have a quick break. Things have calmed down a little bit. What a enthralling start to the night. We've had goals left, right and centre. And let's have a quick look at the chat and see what you guys have been saying. Apologies for not being able to read everything that you guys have been putting in. Carl Middleton said Gladbach smash Shakhtar. Gladbach are winning this group. Vuxin, welcome to stream. How are you all good? But he says, love the professional coverage. Great job, lads. How come only 5 years? Are you doing this as a one-time thing only? And in terms of it, we do it every single Champions League match day. We're trying to cover basically every single Champions League game across the entirety of the season. So we've been doing this goal show now for the first couple of weeks of the Champions League. And of course, when it does come back in a few weeks' time, we are going to be doing it once again for the next 3 round of fixtures. So if you are new to the channel, do keep your eyes out and do leave a subscription because it's always very greatly appreciated. We do know, of course, there's a lot of people out there that can't access these fixtures, and we try our very best to describe the goals as best as we possibly can. And what just an incredible start to the night it's been. There's been no chance to breathe. It's been that good. Carl Middleton has said Inter should be 1 goal up by now. I think for the sounds of things, when we talked to Kale a moment ago, there's been chances left, right and centre. Bernardo has said, love a goal fiesta. It really is a goal fiesta right now in the Champions League. And Bernardo's put Jota in Liverpool's system is amazingly well. I think he should play over Firmino. And we're going to have to go a second because there's been a penalty in the game between Red Bull Salzburg and Bayern. We had a penalty a moment ago for Bayern Munich. The question is it Bayern Munich's penalty this time or have Salzburg got a chance to go 2-0 up, KD?
I genuinely think this might get overturned again. Thomas Muller tries a ruler outside of the box, to get outside of the box from inside the box, to make a little bit of space. And number 45, I'm going to have to check who that is, Mwepu, goes into him. Now, the original penalty has been given. Lewandowski stood over it. He's going to take it. And, of course, Lewandowski does make it 1-1. It did look quite soft for a penalty, though, but it has been adjusted to be a penalty. Bayern Munich back in it, and I can only see this match going one way.
He's been in quite an interesting first 20 minutes. There was a big chance there, of course, for Red Bull Salzburg to try and hold on in this game. But ever since they've got the goal, have they been quite happy to sit back and try and defend the 1-0 lead?
I'd say, yeah, but just moments before the penalty, they were in behind. It was Kois who was in behind. And if he'd held his run maybe a second or two earlier, he'd have been in on Neuer, but he was just adjudged offside and his shot was just straight at the German international. But I think there's definitely a chance for them to score more, and they are in now. And, of course, sweeper keeper Neuer comes out and smacks it clear. But they have been very, very good in the opening 20 minutes of the game. It's been a very, very fun match to watch, I'm not going to lie.
It's always nice to hear. It's been really good across the board tonight so far. Thank you very much, KD. Well, it has taken them just a little bit of time to get back into this match, but, of course, you cannot keep the Champions League winners out. They're back in this game as it currently stands. Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 1. I've had no time to talk about this Porto-Marseille game. There's a lot of stuff going on in this match. We've got a corner here for Porto, which is lofted towards the outside of the box. Nothing comes from it, but we've got no time to relax because there's been a chance in that game between Midtjylland and Ajax. It's the game of the night so far. 3 goals in this game. Have Midtjylland nearly got back into it, Rowan?
It should be 2-1. There's a mistake at the back. I think it might be Gravenberg. Anyway, there's a mistake at the back and he just can't get the ball under control, goes way past him. And Pione Sisto finds it immediately pleasant to middle to Dreyer, who is onside. Dreyer, mate, take a touch, mate. Just slot it past the keeper. He said he goes for it first time and completely skies it over the crossbar. It should be 2-0. It should be. If this game ends 2-1 or they lose by 1 goal, Dre will be looking at that thinking he could have done so much more.
Very unlucky indeed. Thank you so much, Rowan. What a game so far between Midtjylland and Ajax. We're 20 minutes in. We've had 3 goals. And from the sounds of it, we could have had more goals, of course. Rowan said there a moment ago, Dre might have just missed the vital opportunity to get his side back into this Champions League fixture. Of course, we are about now 25 minutes into these games. We are going to go over to the other game now. The biggest match of the night in terms of the two sides. The only match of the night without a goal. Real Madrid and Inter Milan, 0-0 as it currently stands. The question is, Kieran, who's had that chance in the game?
It was Real Madrid, and we might not have the goals, but my God, have we got an entertaining game at the moment. And it was a chance for Real Madrid, and I've got to admit, if this had gone in, it'd want to be the best moves of the Champions League. They build the way up into the final third. It's chipped into the box by Vázquez. Benzema, great vision, heads it and nods it down towards Valverde, hits it on the half volley into the ground, just over the crossbar. By no means is it a bad game here.
Cannot complain at all. Thank you very much, Kieran L. The only game of the night we've had a goal so far, but an enthralling fixture between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. It does feel like that is going to eventually get a goal in the game. We are going to go over, though, to the game between Midtjylland and Ajax. There's big opportunity, Rowan saying.
I may have got a sleep here, you know. And it's again, this time it's Mobile on the wing. He taps it forward as Shears comes and wipes him out. They're just outside of the box, just to let a perfect crushing opportunity to Cabra in the box, who is a tall, marauding striker. There he is. Thing is in the box as well. Now, it was the same when we did, the qualifiers. It says on Sky Sports it's called Dosa Junior. The cross comes in there. Oh, just goes above by. It's the captain, Svetchenko. Svetchenko, it's all right, we know his name. Just puts it wide, but I'll go.
Yeah, it's mental tonight. Honestly, there's no time to breathe. It's incredible because we've had a goal in that game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. Of course, we said it felt like there was going to be a goal at some point. We got it. The question is, who's it to, Kieran?
It's to Real Madrid. It's the man on form. It's Karim Benzema. But my lord, for all the talent in this game, this is a bad goal. Achraf Hakimi, put your Real Madrid shirt back on. It's a hospital pass from the halfway line. He's aiming for Handanovic. Completely hits it. Benzema is through on goal. You know how professional he is. He rounds Handanovic, and it's 1-0. And I want to be checking if it's agent Achraf Hakimi.
It really does feel like it is agent Achraf Hakimi. From what I've just seen, it is a pretty shoddy goal. But the important thing is we've now got a goal in every single game tonight. Thank you very much, KL. Real Madrid 1, Inter Milan 0. Do you think they can get back into it, Inter Milan? Because from the sounds of it, both teams have had their fair share of chances.
Oh. Yeah, definitely. They've had a few chances themselves, and I think this game has got plenty more to come from it. Real Madrid overall have actually looked really good compared to their other European nights. They finally took a lead in the game. We'll have to see if they can keep it, but there'll be chances for Inter Milan.
Thank you very much indeed. We will come back to KL when there is more opportunities in that game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan as we start to edge towards the half an hour mark. Breathe. Take a breather because it has been a very hectic half an hour in the Champions League. And there is no time to breathe because we have a penalty in the game between Porto and Marseille. And Amarvi has just given a foul away on Moussa Marega. The referee points to the spot. And we have a chance now for Porto to get 2-0 up in this game against Marseille. We talked earlier, Dimitri Payet had a great opportunity around 10 minutes into the match to put Marseille back into the game. He missed his penalty. Now Porto have got a chance here, and it is going to be Sergio Oliveira who steps up to the spot. Can he put Porto 2-0 to the good just before the half an hour mark in this fixture? Mandanda, he's just having to talk to with the referee here. Sergio Oliveira steps up to the spot. The referee moves back. Are we going to see the second goal of the night? We do indeed. It is a fantastic penalty from Sergio Oliveira. Puts it into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a tidy finish from the Portuguese midfielder and the captain of the Porto squad tonight. I was going to say Portuguese squad. It's not the Portuguese squad. It's the Porto squad. And just like that, Dimitri Payet has got to rue that miss in the first 10 minutes because now Porto are 2-0 to the good against Marseille. And this has been a fantastic match. Haven't really been able to talk about it much because there's been so many chances. But what a game of football this has been. Really good attacking football from both sides. But Porto with the better of the chances. And most importantly, Porto with the 2 goals. They're 2-0 to the good. We're going to go over now to KD. I will check the comments in a second. It's hectic tonight because there is a dangerous free kick. But who to? KD.
Well, this game's become a lot more open since Bayern Munich have equalised. Salzburg have kind of come out of that little shell that they'd set themselves in. Bayern Munich are the ones who have this free kick here. About 25, 30 yards out. Kimmich and Alaba are over it. I don't think either of them are really going to shoot. They've not really got the history in this. But Kimmich does deliver it into the box towards that back post where Tolisso is. Oh! And I don't understand why the referee's not giving that as a corner, but it is a goal kick. Now, the reason I loudly exclaimed was because it looked like it was going in because of the camera angle. But it's gone a lot further wide than I thought. Still 1-1.
Still 1-1 right now. Thank you very much, KD. What an absolute incredible night so far of Champions League action. We can take a breather now because we are getting towards the half-an-hour mark of these fixtures as it currently stands. The scores on the doors. Manchester City leading 1-0 against Olympiakos. Goal in that game from Ferran Torres, who's playing as a striker tonight. Porto, 2-0 good against Marseille. There was an opening goal from Marega 5 minutes in. 5 minutes later, Dimitri Payet had the opportunity to put Marseille back into the game, and then he missed his penalty. There might be a chance here to make it 3-0 to Porto, and it is 3-0 to Porto, and it's Moussa Marega with his second goal of the night, but I think the referee is going to give it back here as an offside, and it looks like it has been given as offside, which is really unfortunate for him, and it's the right decision there from the referee. But 2-0 to Porto right now. Payet missed his penalty 10 minutes in, and then we had a penalty a moment ago for Porto, which was slotted in by Sergio Oliveira. Real Madrid 1-0 up against Inter Milan. It was a really poor goal in terms of the actual quality of the goal, but Karim Benzema won't care because he's put the Real Madrid side 1-0 up. Of course, they are under severe pressure to go out there and get a result this evening. Atalanta currently 1-0 down to Liverpool. Diogo Jota in the form of his life. Putting an early goal into the back of the net for the away side. What a match this has been. Red Bull Salzburg 1 Bayern Munich 1. It was Salzburg who took the lead in that game in the first 5 minutes. Bayern Munich then got a penalty back in their game. Lewandowski slotted home. Comfortable finish from the Polish forward. And that game has been well and truly open since that goal has gone in. And in the game of the night so far, Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. The most goals on the night. And what a game it's been because Ajax were 2-0 up early on into this fixture. Midtjylland, they found their way back into it courtesy of a goal from Dreyer. The question is, can they fully get back into it, or will Ajax hold on with a 2-1 victory? We will have to find out as we edge towards the half-an-hour mark of this evening's fixtures, and we can have a look at the comments right now. RB Sporting, hope you're good, buddy, says, hello, everyone. Can I get a shout-out? You've got the shout-out indeed right there. Vuxin has said, cheers, subscribe. Thank you very much indeed. Gareth Bale heart on me. And then RB has put, I'm enjoying the stream. Thank you very much, you absolute legend. Carlos put, my score predictions never came true. Damn Madrid. RB Sporting says that he thinks Madrid are going to win 2-1. And then Carlos put, even if Real get out of this group, they're not winning the Europa League, with the smiley face, of course. We'll have to see whether they even make it to the Europa League, of course, with a lot of stuff going on across the board. Still currently 1-0 up right now against Inter Milan. But we were talking a moment ago about the game between Midtjylland and Ajax. There has been a big opportunity. The question is, was it a chance for Ajax to make it 3-1, or was it a chance for Midtjylland to equalise? Rowan?
You say a big opportunity. I'm all wanted to come to because I've just seen a centre-back run from his position to outside the box. Schultz took the ball from a goal kick, ran, didn't get stopped. Ran, didn't get stopped. Ran, didn't get stopped. He plays off to Sisto, who does a lovely shot, and Onana unless parry away. But unfortunately, the parry goes straight to Antony, who counter-attacks on the other side, plays across to Promes. Promes runs it into the box. He tries to whip in, but it's a great tackle by Sviatchenko. Anyway, for a corner that came to nothing. I just want to say, I've just witnessed Schultz just run nearly the full length of the pitch and nearly score for Midtjylland.
It's very rare indeed. You see opportunities like that. And going to have to stop you here because I think we might have just got a penalty for Marseille. Penalties galore tonight.
We've also got another goal.
Have we? Honestly, mental tonight. Let me quickly flick over to Will because that's been a goal in the Atalanta-Liverpool game. It's crazy tonight, Rowan. Who has scored the goal, Will? Are Liverpool 2-0 up or are Atalanta back into it?
2-0, and it's Jota again. This guy is absolutely incredible. It's Joe Gomez. He just got it at the back. He plays a lovely ball over the top. Jota brings it down really nicely, but he's closed down well by the defender. Gets onto his right foot really quickly, hits the shot early, and it just flies past the goalkeeper. Like I said, he's on incredible form. It's 2-0 Liverpool. I said we've dominated the game pretty early on. Atalanta hit the bar with the striker. His name just literally just escaped my mind. Zapata. He hit the crossbar, but he was offside, so it wouldn't have counted even if he'd gone in. But yeah, 2-0 Liverpool, and we're looking like we're in commanding form here.
Thank you very much indeed. 2-0 to Liverpool. Diogo Jota is on fire. It is getting mental once again because the penalty between Porto and Marseille looks like he's gone to VAR review for a handball potentially on Corona. He's been giving us no penalty. So Marseille not having the swing of things tonight in terms of opportunities and penalties given to them. But there has been a goal in the game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. And well, this one has certainly been a feisty fixture in terms of the opportunities. But the question is, has it been a goal for Real Madrid to make it 2-0 or Inter Milan back into the game, Kieran?
It's a long way back for Inter. It's 2-0 to Real Madrid. And it's the man who steps up on the big occasion in Europe. It's Sergio Ramos. The corner is whipped in. He makes a darting run to the front post. De Vrij can't catch him. And it's a glancing header from the front post towards the back post. And it almost seemed like time stopped before that one nestled into the back of the net. But it's 2-0, so why would they care?
Thank you very much indeed. KL, what a game. And of course, as you said, time really does stop when Sergio Ramos goes for headers because it was a really good opportunity there. But 2-0 to Real Madrid as it currently stands, as Kieran perfectly put. Inter Milan, they have got a long way to go if they want to get back into this game at Real Madrid. We said tonight the pressure was on them to go out there and get themselves a big result to put them back in contention of getting out of the Champions League. And well, they're doing exactly what they need to right now. So 2-0 to Real Madrid. In terms of the Atalanta-Liverpool game, we spoke to Will a moment ago. Second goal for Jota on the night. And what an incredible finish it was into the back of the net. And we are going to quickly go over to Will in a second. No, we're not, because we're going to go over to KL. Kasim typing desperately. There's been a goal in the game between Real Madrid and Inter. Who scored, Kieran?
It's Inter Milan. It was a long road back, but they've started the car. It's crossed over towards Barella. He back heels it between the two defenders, and it's volleyed home by Lautaro Martinez across Thibaut Courtois. What a goal that is. Unbelievable. And wow, 2-1. They are back.
Absolutely scintillating football. I'm just seeing the goal now. It's such a good finish. What an opportunity. And well, we said they needed to get a goal back. They've just done it like that. And Real Madrid switching off. Could that be their downfall? Because we've seen it multiple times in the Champions League over these last couple of weeks. And it's such an exquisite finish.
And I tell you what, they're on the way again. As Achraf Hakimi creates an overlap, terrible cross. Don't worry about it. But it's what you said. If you're into Milan as well, you didn't have enough time to rest and feel sorry for yourself. Immediately back in the game and half the deficit. Fantastic game so far.
Thank you very much, KL. What a night. What a night. This is what we love in the Champions League. Goals, goals, goals. That's what we love. It makes it easy for me and makes it easy for the boys when we get incredible fixtures, because I don't think, apart from probably the Man City game, there's been a bad fixture so far in terms of opportunities. Let's go over to Will now, because there was a chance in that game between Atalanta and Liverpool, of course. 2 goals for Jota already. Was it a chance for Liverpool or Atalanta trying to squeeze their way back into the game, Will?
Another chance for Liverpool, and it should be 3-0. There's just so much space at the moment for Liverpool. They're just exploiting the areas. The high press is working wonders for them. Sadio Mane picks up the ball at the halfway line, runs through the defence, hits a shot just inside the area. But it's an unbelievable save from Sportiello, just diverts it around the post. But I thought it was going in, and it should be 3-0 to Liverpool, because I think Mane really should have scored. But fair play to the keeper, made a great save. But yeah, it's still 2-0 Liverpool. They've just got a corner now, which Robertson's put into the box. And Papu Gomez has cleared it away. But yeah, 2-0 Liverpool, about 7 minutes to go till half-time.
Thank you very much, Will. We've got another chance elsewhere. What a night, honestly. I'm loving it right now. Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 1. Are the Austrians holding on well, or is it a chance for Bayern Munich, KD?
Well, the Austrians were on top, and they have been on top all game. If you were to look at the stats, Josh, of this game, I couldn't tell you who was actually the better side. Maybe Salzburg are having a lot more shots at least, but it was actually a chance for Bayern Munich, and I'm not quite sure how Robert Lewandowski hasn't made it 2-1. I would have absolutely bet my house on him. I've said that 3 times tonight, just to emphasise how bad he is actually playing up front. So yeah, it's an electric counter-attack from Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry, who combined well on the left-hand side. Coman gets to the left-hand side of the penalty area, cuts it back to Lewandowski. He cuts it down to his left foot, and I'm waiting for the net to bulge, and he puts it over the bar. However, he is in right now, and it's cleared away, never mind. Apart from the penalty, he's not really done that much tonight.
It really doesn't feel like he's going to be Lewandowski's night, does it, from the sound of things? Thank you very much, KD. Of course, Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 1. We will look into the stats of the game at half-time. I've just had a quick look. Interesting game on paper in terms of opportunities, of course. When we hit half-time, we'll do our stats analysis and we'll talk about everything that's gone on in the past 45 minutes of action, because it has been an incredible night so far. Let's get to your comments while we've got a chance to have a quick look at the comments right now, because it's been so hectic indeed. Bernaldo booing Ramos, of course, because of the goal. RB Sporting saying Jota worth every penny that Liverpool spent on him. Of course, Liverpool fans loving him right now. He's been on scintillating form indeed. And then Bernaldo celebrated the fact that Lautaro instantly got an equaliser in the game, of course, with that incredible back heel. It was such a lovely goal. We love these games tonight. Incredible goals across the board, of course. That's probably the best goal of the night so far. And then Carlos put, what brilliant play and a brilliant goal by Inter. Wow. That's all Kyle can say about it. Just wow. Fantastic goal. So while we've got a chance here, 40 minutes on the clock. As it currently stands across the board in the Champions League fixtures tonight, this is how the score lines are looking. Manchester City 1-0 up against Olympiakos, goal from Ferran Torres. Porto 2-0 up to Marseille. Marseille have had their fair share of chances in this game, but just don't seem to be having luck on their side tonight. Real Madrid 2-1 Inter Milan. There were goals from Benzema and Sergio Ramos. And then when Sergio Ramos scored, literally about a minute or two later, there was a goal to put Inter Milan back into the game, and it was Lautaro Martinez with a fantastic finish into the back of the net. Diogo Jota, he's got 2 goals tonight for Liverpool, currently 2-0 up against Atalanta. That could have had a fair amount of goals for the away side tonight. Sounds a really open game of football in terms of space for Liverpool to work into. Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 1. Very even game of football, you have to admit. We'll look at the stats, of course, in a couple of minutes. But Red Bull Salzburg really doing well in their group, you have to say, of course. Unfortunately, didn't get any points against Atletico Madrid last week, but they have a real chance tonight against Bayern Munich, who you have to say have struggled a little bit in terms of trying to get results away from home, because we saw last week against Lokomotiv Moscow, they could only just nick a 2-1 win against the Russian side. And right now, they are struggling once again against the Austrian champions. And then Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. Ajax were 2-0 up early on in this game. Midtjylland did get a goal back in the match courtesy of Gerard, and they've had a fair few opportunities, the home side, but still waiting for that big opportunity to try and equalise in this game, of course. As it currently stands, Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. With about, I would say, around 5 minutes left of action in terms of normal time. No doubt tonight, because we've had a fair whack of goals, we should get quite a bit of additional time across the board. And we can have a little bit of a break now, a little bit of time to relax. Of course, no goals going in over these last few minutes, but what a night of action it really has been, of course. The main game I was covering tonight was Porto Marseille. We really haven't had much of a chance to talk about it at all, just because it has been just goals left, right and centre. And you can't complain, of course. That's what we want in the Champions League, and it's been enthralling indeed. And to quickly talk about this Porto-Marseille game, of course, Porto with 2 goals in this match, one of them being a penalty, one of them being a Moussa Marega goal. Marseille, they have had their fair share of chances. There was the penalty, which Dimitri Payet missed. There was a handball shout for a penalty, which went to VAR and wasn't given as a penalty, which I, looking back at it, think it probably was a penalty, but it wasn't given in the end. And I think maybe Marseille will feel a little bit let down that they haven't had a chance to get back into this match. But they've had a fair few chances in this game, of course, playing away from home in Portugal against Porto. It's going to be a tough test for both of these sides. And I think that Porto have done quite well. You know, Marseille, they've been the master of their own downfall at points, and a couple of heavy passes around the back have allowed the likes of Corona, Diaz and Marega, the main front three, of course, to push forward in numbers and have a few counter-attacking opportunities. But they're doing quite all right, Marseille, and it does feel like a matter of time before they might get an opportunity in this game to make it 2-1 and maybe get back into it. But of course, we'll have to find out because there's only 3 minutes left of this first half. And Porto will be very happy, of course, with their 2-0 lead. It puts them into a much more comfortable position in how this match has panned out so far in this 45 minutes. But let's have a quick look across some of the other games, of course. We'll talk to the boys at half-time if there's no other chances on how their games have gone and how things could change in the 45 minutes of action. Although I'm going to have to stop for a second because Porto are coming forward down here on the left-hand side. It's Luis Diaz bombing down that left-hand side, but Sakai does very well to stop the Colombian forward from potentially getting the third goal of the game. But, of course, Real Madrid and Inter Milan, the biggest game of the night in terms of the two sides. And they're really putting up a very good performance indeed. Of course, these are the two teams that you would expect to probably go through to the next round of the Champions League knockout stages of this tournament. And it has been a very good fixture so far, but Inter Milan got to try and claw their way back into this match, 2-1 down as it currently stands. Diogo Jota being an incredible signing. 2 goals right now for Liverpool. Of course, we'll talk about the stats later on. I assume right now with Liverpool, it has been a real flurry of opportunities up top for them. Of course, Atalanta playing a free at the back formation means you are going to be susceptible to attacking opportunities. And if there is one side you wouldn't like to have opportunities coming at you from, it is that Liverpool team. Of course, lots of pretty decent opportunities for the away side to maybe get more than 2, you have to say. We could have had maybe 3 or 4 before half-time was reached. And Kieran has put, in terms of that Real Madrid-Inter game, that Vidal has been yellow carded. Of course, Vidal getting a bucket. It does feel like Arturo Vidal yellow card bingo at times. You always know he's eventually going to go into the book at some point. But we have had a goal. It's been a little bit quiet for a little bit. We have had a goal in that game between Red Bull Salzburg and Bayern Munich. We spoke earlier about these teams having plenty of opportunities for both sides. But who's taken the goal? KD.
Oh, it's such a fantastic goal from Bayern Munich. It's Lewandowski and Muller. They combine to make it. And Muller just fizzes it across the box. And I think it's actually headed in by a Red Bull Salzburg player. It's number 43 who heads it into his own net. I'm just going to tell you who that is now. It is Nissen who heads it into his own net. I think if he'd have missed it, Tolisso was going to put it anyway. But Bayern Munich, they have been on top since they equalised. And they deserve to be in front, I'm not going to lie. But that was an absolutely fantastic bit of link-up between possibly 2 of the best players in the world.
Well, it's expected. Bayern Munich, they don't stop coming at you, and they finally got that goal that they needed. Thank you very much, KD, as it currently stands. Bayern Munich are now in the lead, and of course, Salzburg, they've had their fair share of chances. They're going to have to somehow play even better in the second half if they want to salvage a point. Crazy, I know, but Bayern Munich doing well as always. We are getting towards now the half-time mark across the board. We've got 1 minute of additional time in this game between Porto and Marseille. Alvaro had a really good chance a moment ago from a corner to put the ball into the back of the net. And he rose really high, actually, I've got to say, for the Spaniard centre-back. Really good header, tried to keep it down, and it was just a slight little tip over the bar from Marquez. And it was a very good chance for Marseille to get back into the game. But we are getting now towards the point of half-time. It is half-time in the game between Atalanta and Liverpool. Liverpool 2-0 up against Atalanta. We'll talk to Will in a little moment's time on how that fixture has panned out. I assume, of course, it'd be all about Liverpool in terms of those 2 goals that they've gotten. A flurry of opportunities. We haven't really had much to talk about from the perspective of Atalanta. They've been very, very quiet indeed from the sounds of things. And then at half-time as well, for KL's game, he's currently watching Real Madrid and Inter Milan 2-1 up Real Madrid. It has been a pretty interesting game of football so far between these two sides. Real Madrid were 2 goals up, courtesy of a scrappy finish from Benzema and a lovely header from Sergio Ramos into the back of the net. And then after Ramos scored, about a minute or 2 later, it was a lovely finish from Lautaro Martinez. Scrumptious goal for Inter Milan, the best goal of the night so far. And it'll be interesting to see whether they can get back into the game in the second half. But as it currently stands, they're 2-1 down to Real Madrid, who have to go out there and get a victory today if they want to try and get through to the next rounds of the Champions League. He's also half-time at Rowan's game between Midtjylland and Ajax. It's been a really good game of football, this one. First 20 minutes, we had 3 goals. Ajax, they took the lead 2-0, in fact, in the first kind of 10 or 15 minutes. But Midtjylland, they fought back. They've done quite well. Got a goal from Dreyer, of course, only a couple of minutes after Ajax went 2-0 up. and they are still going to have to fight back because as it currently stands, they are still 2-1 down, and there is one more fixture still going. Sorry, two more fixtures still going on across the board. Bayern Munich and Salzburg, of course. Bayern Munich currently 2-1 up in that game against Salzburg. That has actually just gone to half time. Salzburg doing really well tonight, actually, I have to say, in terms of opportunities on goal. But Bayern Munich, ultimately, the Champions League winners, you can't stop them, and they have the lead in this game. And then the final game that has just reached half-time, Manchester City 1, Olympiakos 0. Probably the most boring game of the night so far. Only one goal in that game, Ferran Torres. We'll talk about that one in just a moment's time. But we are now at half-time across all of the fixtures in the Champions League. And just very quickly, we'll go over the scores and then we'll bring the boys in one by one to talk about their fixtures. So at half-time, Manchester City 1, Olympiakos 0. Porto 2, Marseille 0. Real Madrid 2, Inter Milan 1. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 2. Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 2. And FC Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. And then, of course, there were two other games that went on earlier today. Lokomotiv Moscow getting a 1-1 draw against Atletico Madrid. A great result for the Russian side. And then a demolition from Gladbach earlier as Shakhtar were humiliated, you could say, 6-0 against the German side at home. A really, really poor result indeed. But just look at the chat, Bernardo putting smashing start all round today. It has been a thrilling first 45 minutes of action across the board. Every game has had a goal, and every game pretty much hasn't really been boring. So let's go across the board now. Of course, half-time analytics breakdown, as we always do. And we'll start off with the game that has had the least goals tonight. The game that not really anybody's watching. I'll keep my close eye on it. Is the game between Manchester City and Olympiakos. And as you would expect, it is Manchester City dominating this game as it currently stands 1-0 up, courtesy of Ferran Torres' goal in the 12th minute. They haven't had any shots, Olympiakos, at all in this game. Not one shot so far. 35% possession compared to Manchester City, 65%. But Manchester City, as we said before in last week's game, Rowan did point out the lack of strikers is costing them. They've had 11 shots, only 3 on target. Maybe someone like Aguero or Jesus would have put a couple of those chances into the back of the net. But as it currently stands, they have the lead. It looks like Manchester City will be on course to top their group. Of course, fantastic start in their group indeed. And then the other game that I'm currently covering tonight, FC Porto 2, Marseille 0. And you have to say, from kind of the actual first 45, Marseille have kind of been partially one of the better of the two sides. Not in terms of finishing, because they've had 4 shots and none on target. Porto have had 3 shots, 3 on target. 2 of them have gotten into the back of the net. But Marseille, they've dominated possession. They've had 61% possession compared to Porto's 39%. And you have to say, Porto, quite bizarrely, playing on the counter-attack in this first 45 minutes when they're at home. Not usually the system you would expect from a side playing at home, but they've done very well indeed. They've got the 2 goals. You know, as we said before, Marseille will be a little bit disappointed that they haven't had maybe a goal or 2 in this game. Alvaro had a very good header that just went wide of the mark. Dimitri Payet missed a penalty in the first 10 minutes, which he should have buried into the back of the net. And there was a penalty that was ruled out by VAR. A little bit harsh, I would have probably said, in terms of it being not given to Marseille. But they still have 45 minutes left to get back into that game. The question is, can they do it or not? We'll have to find out in that next 45 minutes of action. So there's the 2 games that I am covering tonight. Of course, we've had plenty of goals in those games. But we'll now move over to the game that's had the least goals so far, but it's still had 2 goals. That is Atalanta-Liverpool. As we looked before in this game, of course, these are 2 sides when they were originally drawn out in the group stages. We looked at this and thought this was going to be a mouth-watering clash so far. And the question is, Will, has it been a mouth-watering clash, or has it been an easy ride for Liverpool as they are 2-0 up?
Liverpool have dominated, pal, to be honest. I thought it'd be a tight game, but the one thing I've noticed is there's just so much space. Atalanta just they can't seem to press. Liverpool seem much more sharp and much more fitter, and they're just picking Atalanta apart, really. Diogo Jota has been incredible once again. His second goal was unbelievable. If you can find it on Twitter, it was just absolutely quality. And Liverpool deserve to be 2-0 up. But Atalanta, they need to really, really look at the tactics and try and go again in the second half because they've not been a threat at all.
It was an exquisite finish, the second goal.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at it right now, stats-wise, of course, Jota scoring 2 goals in 16 minutes, actually. Scored his first in the 16th minute, and then his second goal in the 33rd. Stats-wise, Atalanta, they've had 2 shots, 2 on target. Liverpool have had 7 shots, 6 on target. But possession-wise is where it really matters right now. Liverpool have had 63% possession to Atalanta's 37%. It's been fairly easy for Liverpool so far. Of course, in terms of the next 45 minutes, what do Liverpool do? Because they've got a very good lead right now. We know Atalanta, they've had that tendency to get back into games. Of course, they were 2-0 down to Ajax at half-time and then clawed a good result 2-2 in the end. Do you think they could do the same here against Liverpool, or do you think it's going to be plain sailing for the away side?
Liverpool have just got to come into the second half with the exact same mentality. They've got to come into the second half as if it's 0-0. They can't let off, because Atalanta's still got a lot of quality up front, and they can punish Liverpool if they get sloppy. But yeah, I think Jurgen Klopp will be telling his players to keep tight and make sure you keep your heads, because the game's not over yet. There's still 45 minutes left, and although Atalanta have been pretty much non-existent, like I just said, they've got the quality up front to make a difference. But yeah, so far Liverpool been the far better side, and they just need to come out and do the exact same thing, and they'll take home all 3 points.
Very good indeed for Liverpool so far. Thank you very much, Rowan. Will, sorry. You're not Rowan. I will bring Rowan in a second, of course, to talk about Magician of the Night. Thank you very much, Will, as always. Atalanta 2-0 down to Liverpool. Can they do it again? As I said before, they were 2-0 down to Ajax the last week, of course, and they eventually clawed the 2 goals back. We'll have to see whether they can do it against a much stronger Liverpool side indeed. We will actually now go over to Rowan, of course. He has been covering the game between Midtjylland and Ajax, and as I said earlier, of course, these 2 sides were absolutely fantastic in that first 20 minutes. Plenty of action across the board in this one. The question is, Rowan, do Ajax deserve their lead, or do you think Midtjylland should have got back into this game?
I think Ajax do deserve their lead. I think when the Midtjylland scored their first, there was a good spell of 5 minutes where they probably should have equalised and maybe even gone ahead. But I think Ajax do deserve it on the whole. They have performed a lot better. I mean, the first goal came within 48 seconds. Quite a typical. I think the Midtjylland defenders, Svetchenko and Schultz, just weren't ready. And Anthony made him pay. And then obviously the second goal was an indirect free kick. How you're not going to really stop indirect free kicks, especially when Dusan Tadic is putting them in. Am I unfocused? Whatever. Then their first goal was a lovely piece. Well, you saw it, but Ubi Dreyer, lovely goal. And then it was just straight after Dreyer again, the same position he was before. Does exactly the same shot this time. Onana was there to parry away, and then they had another chance to just make it an equaliser. Pionicisto breaks through, squares across to Dreyer, and Dreyer completely flips his lines.
I mean, it was a great finish from Dreyer, really good. And of course, look at the stats right now for this game. Of course, they took the lead, Ajax, in the first minute, courtesy of Anthony. Really, really good finish from the Brazilian. And then they took the lead. Didn't take the lead. They were 2-0 up after 13 minutes. Dusan Tadic getting a goal in this game. And looking at the stats, it's quite interesting, actually, because Ajax have only had 3 shots, 2 on target. Of course, there's 2 shots on target going into the back of the net. Magician have had 7 shots, 3 on target. Ajax with a little bit more possession. This is a very even game of football in terms of the stats. And does it kind of feel that way in terms of the game and how it's panned out in this first 45?
Yeah, like I said, I think Ajax do deserve the lead because Midtjylland should have put the chances away. But both teams are cancelling each other out. There was a really good 5 minutes of where Kudus ran one side, absolutely minced by Daley Blind. Blind plays it through to Anthony. Anthony minced by Schultz. It was just a mince fest. It was just both teams just giving it their all. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting second half. I mean, Ajax obviously want to be replicating the start of the first half they had, whereas Midtjylland, they did try to bounce back off their first goal, just couldn't get it in the back of the net.
But so far, very good game indeed between Magician and Ajax. It currently stands 2-1 to Ajax. We'll bring you back in a little bit, Rowan, of course, to see what happens in that game. Let's move on to the next match between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. This one has been a feisty affair, of course. The 2 sides right now are probably the biggest game in terms of the actual fixtures on tonight so far. And it's certainly lived up to the expectations because Real Madrid are 2-1 up. They've got a lot of work to do, though, because Inter Milan, they started to claw their way back into this game. The question is, do they deserve their lead, Kieran?
Yeah, I'd say overall, I think it's a fair reflection on the game. Sadly, it was a a poor mistake which led to them taking the lead. But overall, I think Real Madrid have been just the better side. But if you're Inter Milan, you're not in the worst position entering the second 45. You've got that goal back almost immediately. You weren't behind for too long. Test the bottle of this Real Madrid side, and in the second half, it should make for an interesting one.
It should indeed. Looking at the stats for this game, of course, it was Real Madrid that took the lead 25 minutes in. Karim Benzema, it was a very scrappy goal indeed. And then the second goal came about 8 minutes later, Sergio Ramos in the 33rd minute, with a very good header indeed, a very typical Sergio Ramos goal. And then it was literally 2 minutes later, Lautaro Martinez with that goal. It was a really lovely finish into the back of the net. And when you look at the stats of this game, Real Madrid so far 6 shots, 4 on target. Inter Milan have had 4 shots, 2 on target. Real Madrid 56% possession to Inter Milan's 44%. The real question is here, of course, we know Real Madrid are 2-1 up. They've got a plethora of players they can bring on. As for Inter Milan, they are missing their main man tonight, Romelu Lukaku. Number one, how much of a miss has he been tonight? And number two, what do Inter Milan have to do to get back into this game? Because they've got 45 minutes to do it to try and save their UCL campaign.
I think he's been a massive miss, but I don't think Inter Milan have been awful without him. If you understand what I mean. Sadly, Lautaro is having to drop very, very deep at times because obviously he's not the greatest at holding the ball up. And they have stuck Sergio Ramos in him like glue. Every time he's been moving, he's been tracking him the whole way. So it's been a miss, but they haven't been played off the park. So they'll be looking to get some other players into the game. I'd like a little bit more creativity from the midfield because I'll be honest, Josh, Vidal's been awful. Very, very bad. So a bit of creativity, maybe Radja Nainggolan or Christian Eriksen or something like that. But overall, not the worst half for a Lukaku-less Inter Milan.
Yeah, it's been a very good half so far for them. Of course, still get back into this game as it currently stands. I mean, the question is as well, what do Real Madrid do? Because they're only 2-0 up. It's a very slender lead. Do they continue as they go on, or do they change their system up slightly?
I think they'll stick for it for now, but you don't want to leave it too long because if you do concede late, then your changes become very reactionary and very non-existent, really, if you're making changes if you concede late. So for now, I'd keep it as it is. Maybe later on in the game, bring a little bit of pace on. I'm surprised, in the second half, if we see the likes of Rodrigo, I'm pretty sure we'll see him, and probably Luka Modric, who's become their star substitution as of late. There'll be changes, but nothing too immediate.
Good game so far indeed. Thank you very much, Kyle. As it currently stands, Real Madrid 2, Inter Milan 1. Can they get back into it? Inter Milan, we will have to find out indeed. And then, of course, there is one other game to talk about as the players do come out in just a moment's time. Red Bull Salzburg 1, Bayern Munich 2. This has been a great affair so far. Of course, Red Bull Salzburg with a plethora of opportunities. But ultimately, you cannot stop the Champions League winners in Bayern because they've got a lead. And the real question is, Kieran, what happens in the second half? Because Red Bull Salzburg, they did so well indeed. Can they try and get back in this game?
I think that's the question on everyone's lips, to be honest. Can they keep up that level of intensity that we saw for the first 20 minutes of the game? Because, I mean, Bayern Munich didn't really have anything until the penalty went in, and then they were absolutely dominant. But if you do look at the stats, it does look like Salzburg have been in the game a lot more. But I think they're just taking a lot more shots when they get in attacking areas, not necessarily the most dangerous shots. But they've just got to keep going because there is a possibility they could get a point from this game, and if they were to go on and win it, that would open the group up so much.
It would indeed. I mean, look at the stats right now for it. Of course, Bayern Munich 2-1 up right now. Red Bull Salzburg have had 10 shots, only 3 on target. But Bayern Munich have had 8 shots and only 2 on target. Possession-wise, 57% to Bayern, 43% to Red Bull Salzburg. You have to admit, they're not doing bad at all, and they've just got to try and get that clinical edge to try and get at least a point in this game.
It's been a really, really entertaining tie, to be fair. Salzburg are a really good team. They just need to get their players on the ball a little bit more, the attacking players like Szoboszlai, for example, and get Berisha on the ball a little bit more because he's making stuff happen. Of course, it's an easy thing to say, but to actually do that against the Champions League reigning champions is a very hard task.
Well, we'll have to find out indeed because we have a goal. Thank you very much, Katie. The second half of these games have started. And the question is, who has scored? We are about a minute and 2 minutes maybe into these fixtures in the second half. We're going over to Atalanta-Liverpool. Have Atalanta got back in this game or are Liverpool cruising, Will?
It's 3-0 to Liverpool and it's Mohamed Salah And once again, it's come from Liverpool just exploiting the space of that Atalanta have given up. It's actually a corner to Atalanta. It's a poor corner from Papu Gomez. It's one at the front post by Andrew Robertson. And then Curtis Jones just lumps it forward. And Mohamed Salah in his own half is onside. He runs on goal. The defender calls him down, but he puts it on his left foot, curls it into the top corner. A really, really cool finish from Mo Salah. And it's 3-0 to Liverpool, only 2 minutes into the second half. And it looks like the game's pretty much dead and buried now. Phenomenal finish. Yeah, 3-0 Liverpool.
What a start to the second half indeed for Liverpool. Thank you very much, Will. Well, we're about a minute and a half into the second half of that game between Atalanta and Liverpool. And as Will said, it did come from a corner. It was very Leicester City, Watford-esque in terms of how things changed from a corner to counter-attack. And it was a lovely finish from Mohamed Salah. And surely now it's already game, set and match. And we're only, about 47 minutes, I'd probably say, into that second half between Atalanta and Liverpool. 3-0 to the good in that game. Now, let's have a quick look at the chat and see what's going on. Chris has put, Jota is the signing of the season so far. Don't even debate. If he's playing like prime Fernando Torres did at Liverpool, absolutely remarkable. And this is the best I've seen us play for a while. Of course, it has been a very interesting start to season for Liverpool. Then Chris put, my local town, Carlisle 3-1 up against Newport. What a result for Carlisle. Best performance of the season from a local team. So happy night at the office for both of my teams. You'll be absolutely delighted. And then he did put, of course, they won 3-2. Great result for Carlisle tonight, indeed. And then Carl's put this Real Inter game is 100% entertaining so far. The Man United's Premier League games combined. Don't say that. KD will be absolutely offended by that one. But we are going to go over to Will because there has been another goal in his game. What is going on? Atalanta Liverpool. Take it away, Will.
4-0 Liverpool. This is the most fun I've had watching a Liverpool game in a long time. It's just a long throw from Alexander-Arnold, gets it to Salah, who brings it down really nicely, and it's a fantastic ball. Slides in towards Sadio Mane. The keeper rushes off his line, and Mane just dinks it over him. It's just such an unbelievable goal from Liverpool. They made it look so easy. 4-0, 49 minutes gone. This is an absolute rout, and I think Atlanta have already started packing their bags, to be honest.
Well, I think they might have to pack the bags and leave the pitch now because this is turning into a rout. We thought maybe Shakhtar Donetsk was going to be the biggest result of the day. We've still got 45 minutes left of this game, and Liverpool only need 2 more to equal that. Thank you very much, Will. You enjoy it because there's been a breathtaking performance from Liverpool. The goals have been absolutely exquisite. The way they've been able to shift the goals, counter-attack and use the space that Atalanta has left open. It's incredible to watch. And, well, 4-0 to the good. What a start to the second half for Liverpool. 2 goals in about, 2 minutes? I think it is, something in the 47th, and Mane in the 49th. Rowan has said in his game between Ajax and Midtjylland, Klaassen has come on for Ekkelkamp. And then Kieran said there has been a yellow card for Mendy. But we are going to go over to KD now because there's been an early chance in that game between Red Bulls and Salzburg and Bayern Munich. Bayern, of course, 2-1 up. Who's had the first chance of the second half, KD?
Oh, what a chance for Salzburg to get back in the game. It's an absolutely outrageous save from Manuel Neuer. He's managed to get his fingertips on it. It's a fantastic pass from the left-hand side. I think it might be Koita who plays the ball inside. A brilliant awareness from Berisha to leave the ball because he was offside for Mbwepu, who was coming in behind him. He has the shot. He kind of scuffs it a little bit from inside the 6-yard box, I think it might be. And it's a fantastic save from Neuer, but I'm in absolute shock how he hasn't finished it. I thought it was 2-2, and they deserve more to Salzburg because they've started the second half very well and they've won a free kick inside Bayern Munich's half.
What a game so far. Can they get an equalising goal in this game? We will have to find out indeed. Thank you very much, Katie. As it currently stands right now, Bayern Munich still 2-1 up against Red Bull Salzburg. Of course, they've still got plenty of time in this game to get a goal back. As we edge towards the 50th minute of these games. Of course, the main game tonight, just keep you up to date for those of you that have just joined. If you are new, as always, by the way, do leave a like and subscription. It's very greatly appreciated indeed. Manchester City, Olympiakos and Porto Marseille, the 2 games I'm keeping my eyes out on tonight. Real Madrid and Inter Milan has been covered by KL. Liverpool and Atalanta has been covered by Will. Salzburg Bayern Munich, of course, being covered by KD. And Midtjylland Ajax is being covered by Rowan. On the bottom of the screen is the scores that are updating as we go along. And then, of course, we'll go over to the guys all the time to see what is happening across the board in these fixtures tonight. if you have just joined us for the second half, Liverpool with the only 2 goals of the second half so far. 2 goals in 2 minutes, one for Mane, one for Salah. Liverpool running right against Atalanta, which is something you don't tend to see often. But of course, it has been a bit of a demolition derby right now in that fixture. And just looking right now, what a save from Neuer with the chance that KD was talking about a moment ago. How has he saved that? Really, really good opportunity for Salzburg, who I have to say, give them credit once again. It's another good performance from the Austrian side tonight, but it just doesn't look like they're going to come out with anything. You can see Jesse Marsch, their manager, just throwing the water bottle onto the floor. A little bit disappointed that that chance hasn't ended up in the back of the net, but they are trying their best tonight, and it still stays 2-1 to Bayern Munich. We're going to quickly talk about the Real Madrid Inter Milan game. There has been a yellow card in this match. Brozovic has gone into the book in this game. So a couple of yellow cards coming out in that match. But we are around 50 minutes as it currently stands. The scores on the doors tonight. Manchester City 1-0 up against Olympiakos. Porto 2 to the good against Marseille. Real Madrid 2, Inter Milan 1. Liverpool 4-0 to the good against Atalanta. Bayern Munich 2-1 up against Red Bull Salzburg. And Ajax 2-1 up against Midtjylland. And then the other 2 games tonight, you see on the bottom screen right now. Lokomotiv Moscow with an incredible 1-1 draw against Atalanta, I'd say. Atletico Madrid, of course. Really good result for the Russian side. And then Gladbach dispatching Shakhtar for 6 goals. What a game of football that was for Gladbach, and a really, really good result. In fact, a fun fact for you, they only scored 5 goals in their entire previous Champions League campaign. They already scored more goals just in this match than they did in their previous Champions League campaign, which is crazy when you think about it, but they really got an incredible result against Shakhtar, 6 goals in that match. And then, of course, we've had plenty of goals tonight across the board. In fact, to kind of tally up, there's been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17 goals on the night so far. And we've had our 18th one. We're going over to Atalanta Liverpool. Surely it's not 5-0, Will?
It is 5-0, and it's a hat-trick for Diogo Jota. It's just unbelievable counter-attacking play again from Liverpool. Sadio Mane picks it up on the left, and it's Jota again, just getting in behind. He's always on the last shoulder of the last defender. Gets in behind. The keeper comes flying out of his goal. Jota rolls it past him and puts it into an empty net. Again, this is just domination from Liverpool. 54 minutes in, it's 5-0. 5-0, I would not have thought it would have been 5-0 after 53 minutes, but it is, and it's unbelievable. 5-0 Liverpool.
What a performance indeed. I mean, it's absolutely crazy when you think about it, because we're so used to seeing Atlanta demolish sides. And I think for the first time in quite some time, it's them being demolished. I'm just seeing the goal now, and Sportiello, he rushes out of his goal. And, well, it's the simplest of finishes for Jota. And just how good has he been for Liverpool?
He's just been brilliant. He's brought a new dimension. I mean, he's replaced Firmino tonight, obviously. Firmino's struggled for the past few months. I mean, since he scored that goal in the Club World Cup final, he's not really done much, really. But the 2 different players, I know Firmino likes drop into the pocket space and link the play up, but Jota, he loves getting in behind, and he can play up front, he can play on the wings. He's so versatile, and he's just kind of brought a breath of fresh air to Liverpool, and he's brimming with confidence at the moment. So, I think he's definitely cemented his place in the Liverpool starting 11 now.
Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Will. It's 5-0 to Atlanta. Unbelievable. They could be about to go worse than what Shakhtar are doing. Of course, Shakhtar lost 6-0. They're on course to probably lose maybe by 7 or 8 with how this game's panned out so far. But it's been incredible. Diogo Jota with a hat-trick. And there'll be a lot of Wolves fans who, I remember actually when Wolves, of course, were about to let him go, there was a lot of Wolves fans saying, we don't really care that he's going. Aren't they regretting that decision now? Of course, he's really, shone in this Liverpool side, and he's got a hat trick tonight in the Champions League, and he is on absolute fire for Liverpool since he joined them only a few months ago. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Of course, he's gone a little bit quiet in these games. Cal's put Hazard has been awful since he went to Real Madrid. I don't think he's the top player that people have been making him out to be. Of course, was incredible at Chelsea. He's been really, really quiet over these last couple of seasons at Real Madrid. Of course, he's in the lineup tonight in that game against Inter Milan. Of course, we'll have to find out a little bit later on to see how he's doing in that game against Inter Milan. But there has been a dangerous free kick in the game between Salzburg and Bayern. Let's quickly hop over to KD. Who's the free kick for?
It's for Bayern Munich. It's a really, really good chance. It's literally on the line of the penalty area, Josh. Kamara does get the yellow card for the foul on Tolisso. Just before that, though, leading up to the free kick, brilliant burst from his own half by Hernandez. Again, I'm not going to say which one it is because I always forget. Brilliant burst by Hernandez into the penalty area. Tries to pull it back for Lewandowski. It gets cleared to the edge of the area where Tolisso comes onto the ball and he's fouled by Kamara for the free kick. It is literally on the edge of the goal line, the box line, sorry. There's 4 Bayern Munich players around it. There's Muller, Alaba, Lewandowski. I think, who else is there? Kimmich is there. This is a really, really good opportunity for Bayern Munich, and I think it's probably going to be, well, someone's laying down behind the wall. Tolisso's there as well. It's probably going to be Lewandowski or Alaba, I think. But yeah, this is a fantastic opportunity for Bayern Munich to 20 metres out it is, Josh. It's a tough one to get it up and down, but if anybody can do it, I think Robert Lewandowski can.
It's not been his night so far, but can he get a goal in?
Into the wall.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Well, that sums up Lewandowski's night so far, doesn't it? I mean, you said earlier, of course, he's had a couple of good chances in this game. It's crazy to say. Do you think there's a chance he could get subbed off?
I've not seen the bench, to be perfectly honest. I don't actually know who's on the bench, but I mean, I think so, because I mean he's not really doing much. To be fair, he flicked the ball for Muller's assist for the own goal earlier on, but apart from that, he's been pretty dire. But there's a big chance for Salzburg here, because just before that chance with a free kick, they had the opportunity to be through, but I think they just passed it a little bit too slowly. And if there were a bit more intensity, a bit more rhythm to their play, they probably would have been in. But yeah, good game so far.
Very good game indeed. Thank you very much, KD. Still 2-1 to Bayern Munich in that match so far. We are going to go over to KL because it looks like there might have been an injury in his game. No, he's waving his hands now. He's saying no. I'm going to go over to him anyway, and we'll just find out what's happened in terms of who got injured. But still 2-1 to Real Madrid. Who could have had a serious injury?
Well, at first it was Barella. It was the way he went down and he was holding his elbow. And I wondered if, maybe he'd broke it, which was the first immediate worry. But he's up now. He looks all right, a bit of the magic spray. But it's, what it's like, because Sergio Ramos and him are running towards the ball. Barella's getting there first. But Ramos always has to put a shove in, doesn't he? Because that's just the kind of player he is. So I was worried that he'd caused an injury, because obviously we saw what he did to Salah. I was wondering whether we'd have the same thing with Barella. But he's up. He's all good. He's back on the field. Not sure what it was, but thank God it's not a broken elbow.
Yeah, thankfully not. That would have been a very serious injury indeed. Of course, talking to Kyle earlier in the chat, he says Hazard's been awful since he moved to Real Madrid. What's his performance been like tonight? He's
been a non-factor, really. He's one of them. If you hadn't mentioned his name, would I have realised he was on the pitch? Probably not. He's not been involved that much at all. He was good for the opening 5 minutes where he dragged the ball back for Valverde, but that's about it.
Well, interesting game so far between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. Not an enthralling game for Eden Hazard in terms of how poor he's been over the last few weeks, but still time for Inter Milan to get back into that game. Thank you very much, Kale. As it currently stands, Real Madrid 2-1 up against Inter Milan. With about half an hour to go, we've got 30 minutes left. Here are the scores on the doors as it currently stands across the board of the Champions League tonight. Manchester City still 1-0 up against Olympiakos, courtesy of that goal from Ferran Torres in the 15th minute. FC Porto 2 to the good against Marseille, goals from Musa Marega and a penalty, which slotted into the back of the net by Sergio Oliveira. Real Madrid 2-1 up against Inter Milan, 2 goals from Benzema and Sergio Ramos. And then after Ramos had scored very quickly, there was an instant potential comeback from Inter Milan, a goal from Lautaro Martinez, a really good goal, in fact, in terms of the build-up play. Best performance of the night is from Liverpool, 5-0 to the good against Atalanta. Goals across the board, including a Diogo Jota hat-trick, as well as goals for Mane and Salah. What a performance tonight from Liverpool, indeed. Probably their best performance of the season so far. Bayern Munich 2-1 up against Red Bull Salzburg. Of course, Salzburg doing very good tonight, trying their best to get back into this game, but ultimately still 2-1 down to the Champions League winners, who have not had the greatest performance in the world. We said earlier, of course, when they play their away games, they've struggled at times to defeat some of their opponents. Lokomotiv Moscow last week was a big struggle for them. And Salzburg are doing very well, but still 2-1 down. And very quiet in the second half between Midtjylland and Ajax. Still 2-1 to Ajax in that game. It has certainly died down a little bit in this second half, which, of course, it was quite a hectic first 45 minutes of action. And hopefully it can go back to the quick, enigmatic pace of what we had in that first 45. But let's have a quick look at the comments, see what you've been saying. Jasselund, how are you doing, buddy? He says, bruh, Liverpool playing all-out attack since their defence is broken. And, well, the amount of space that Atalanta have been leaving open right now is criminal, absolutely criminal. And talking about the game, we are going to go over to Will. It has been a chance in that game. It's probably going to be for Liverpool, isn't it, Will?
No, it's a chance for Atalanta, actually, for once. And you know what? They are so unlucky not to score here. It's Zapata. He gets in behind the Liverpool defence. He absolutely sells Joe Gomez with it. He cuts it inside. Joe Gomez dives in. And Zapata looks to curl into the top corner, and it hits the crossbar. I think it hit the crossbar, then the post. It's hit the frame of the goal anyway. It's so unlucky. I thought it was going in. Ended up didn't going in. And, still Atalanta failed to get on the score sheet, but they are so unlucky not to get a goal back there. Still 5-0.
Thank you very much indeed, Will. 5-0 to Liverpool. There's no chance of a comeback in this game. It could turn a little bit worse for Atalanta, but they've had a chance in the second half, and if they can get maybe 1 or 2 goals back, it won't look nowhere near as bad as it does when it's 5-0. Looking at the chat right now, lots of things going on. There has been a substitution in the Midtjylland Ajax game. Edson Alvarez, the Mexican centre-back, he's come on for Schürrle at the back. And there's been a yellow card in the Real Madrid Inter Milan game. Federico Valverde has gone into the book with a yellow card. So a few little things going on in that match. We haven't really been able to talk about the Porto Marseille game. Not much going on in this one at all in terms of the second half. It's been a fairly quiet 15 minutes of action so far. Porto, of course, 2-0 up as it currently stands. Marseille still haven't had a shot on target in this game, and they're still waiting for an opportunity. And then the Manchester City Olympiakos game, of course, Man City still 1-0 up, but Olympiakos, they've had a few extra chances now. They had no shots in the first 45. They've already had 2 in this second half, but no shots on target as of yet, and still a lack of possession. So you would expect Manchester City to win that game, but Olympiakos, they're still in the match. And with about half an hour left, could they maybe surprise everyone and get a late goal or a 1-1 draw? We'll have to find out indeed with half an hour left of action. Carl has put, I may need a few Panadol to help me get over the headache of Liverpool thrashing Atalanta. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? It's mad because, you know, both teams are very attacking and they leave space open, but Liverpool have been able to attack all the space that Atalanta have left open in that back 3 formation. And this could be a result that really hurts Atalanta in the long run. We know them for dispatching teams. It's very rare we see them getting dispatched, and Liverpool are doing that really, really well tonight. So, of course, half an hour left of that game. They only need 1 more goal to equal Gladbach 6 that they scored against Shakhtar in their match earlier on today. But right now, a little bit quiet in the games. We are at the 60-minute mark across the board. Manchester City still 1 up against Olympiakos. Porto 2 up against Marseille. Amavi has just gone into the book for a foul on, I think it was Diaz there. Really poor foul from Amavi. And it's a very cheap free kick to give away. There has been a substitution in that game between Liverpool and Atalanta. They can start resting players now, Liverpool. We've been 5-0 up, and Andy Robertson has come off. Naby Keita coming onto the pitch. Bobby Firmino has come on for Diogo Jota as well. And what a performance tonight from Jota. Getting himself a hat-trick. Really good performance. And he's certainly making a name for himself with the Liverpool fans. Banging in the goals recently. A crucial player for the side. And no doubt will certainly be starting that game you would expect against Manchester City at the weekend, which we'll talk about again just at the end of the stream, because we've got plenty more watch-along content to come on the channel. And then there's also been a change in the Real Madrid Inter Milan game. Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo have come on. Hazard and Asensio have come off. So Benzema might be crying right now because Vinny Junior's come on. Well, from the sounds of it last week, he hates Vinicius Junior. And we are going to go over to KD because there's been a chance in his game between Red Bull Salzburg and Bayern Munich. The question is, who is it to, KD?
Well, it would have been 3-1, but for an absolutely magnificent save by Stankovic. The counter-attack from Bayern Munich tonight has been on point. It's counter-attacked again. Coming forward, it ends up at the feet of Gnabry inside the area after Tolisso makes a fantastic darting run from midfield. Gnabry, you're thinking he's just going to curl it into that near post right-hand corner, and it's an absolutely fantastic save from Stankovic to keep Salzburg in it. And they have been threatening just a little bit more in the last 5 minutes or so, but Bayern Munich, I can see them. It's going to happen, Josh. It's one of those games. It's going to end up 3-1 or 4-1, I think.
We'll have to find out indeed. Thank you very much, KD. 2-1 to Bayern Munich as it currently stands. There has been a goal, though. It's the game that has been fairly quiet in this second half. The question is, have Midtjylland got one back, Rowan? Or have Ajax taken a comprehensive lead?
They don't. It's 3-1, and the reason you can sometimes see me. The reason I didn't go wild, I thought he were offside. So the cross comes in from the midfield. I don't know. I think it might be Klassen. Plays the ball over the top to the right hand side to Anthony. Anthony actually gets on. He's got free rein, runs forward. He's going to be checked by VAR because I think he's offside here. He's not really closed down fully. No one goes fully to the ball. Anthony just shoots, puts in the bottom left. Nowhere. But I did think he was offside. That's why I didn't react. I'll let you know in the chat because there's been a plethora of chances.
There has been indeed. Thank you very much, Ron. Bring you back in a moment. It could be 3-1 Ajax, but we'll have to find out because there has been a chance in the game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. They are desperately trying to claw their way back into the game. Inter, but is it their chance, KL?
No, Real Madrid could have killed the game off there. And it was down on this left-hand side. You'll never guess what. It was Vinicius Jr. passing to Benzema. Turns out they are on the same team. Who'd have thought? And then Benzema dragged it back to the edge of the box. Lucas Vazquez took a dodgy touch and toe poked it towards goal. And I thought it was going in, but it just whistled past the post. But a good chance to maybe kill this game off. Inter hanging on.
They are indeed. Thank you very much, KL. As it currently stands, Real Madrid still 2-1 to the good. And Vinicius Junior is passing to Benzema. That's the main improvement for Real Madrid tonight. At least they know they can both pass to each other. Let's go to Will, though, because there has been a chance in that game between Atalanta and Liverpool. Of course, we're still waiting to find out a decision in terms of VAR with Magician and Ajax. Will, who's had the chance?
Another chance for Atalanta. I think Liverpool have kind of taken the foot off the pedal here. They are 5-0 up there, cruising, but Atalanta have had a few chances, and it's another chance for Zapata up front. He bursts into the box, runs past Joe Gomez again, and it's a fantastic shot on goal, but a really, really strong right hand from Alisson pushes it wide. I thought it was going in, but a really good save from Alisson. But yeah, the last 5-10 minutes, so Atalanta probably been the better side, but you would expect Liverpool being 5-0 up. They've definitely started taking the foot off the pedal and just keeping all the ball now. They know the game's over. They just want to avoid any injuries and just finish the game off, really.
They can indeed relax now. Thank you very much, Will. 5-0 to Liverpool as it currently stands. We are going to go over to Rowan, though, because it's been given us no goal, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, when the first pass made, I thought it was not a goal. I thought Anthony was clearly offside. It took a while. It did take a while because the camera angle wasn't right. So they didn't have a camera angle straight on the thing. It was like coming from that point. So they took him a bit longer. But yeah, he is offside. He is offside. It's his full body's nearly offside. Cools came off for Anderson, but there's been a goal.
Thank you very much. There has been a goal indeed, because we're going over to KL. There has been a goal. Kieran, at Real Madrid, have they done it now? Or Inter Milan back into it?
Make it 2-2. It is Inter Milan. They have not been at their best in this second half. But Arturo Vidal was awful in the first half. He chips it over the top of the defence. Lautaro Martinez nods it on to his strike partner Perisic, lets the ball come across his body and half volleys it across himself into the opposite right-hand bottom corner. Beautiful goal. And again, this Champions League group could not toss up more 2-2s if it tried. Will we get another one, though?
We'll have to find out indeed, because I'm going to have to go, because there's been another goal elsewhere. And the question is, have Red Bull Salzburg got themselves back into this game, or have Bayern Munich taken a comprehensive lead? Kieran D, who's got the goal?
Okagoa has just come off the bench and with his second touch of the ball has passed it past Neuer, and Salzburg surprisingly have a 2-2. A 2-2, yeah. But literally seconds before the Inter Milan goal went in, I tapped in there was a chance. Kingsley Coman hit the crossbar. What a crucial moment that has turned out to be in this game. Okagoa, like I said, literally just came on for Junazovic, and with his second touch of the ball has made it 2-2. And what a game this has been. It's going to be such a good finish to this game. One of these teams has to nick it. But the goal, it was the best player on the pitch by far tonight has been Ramalho for Salzburg at the back. He wins the ball high up the pitch, threads a through ball through to Okagoa, and he just finishes it past Neuer expertly with his second touch of the ball. What a game. Game on.
It is indeed game on. What a night of actually starting to get back to plenty of goals across the board. Thank you very much, KD, for now, because there's been a goal elsewhere. Porto are 3-0 to the good Against Marseille, it was a finish from Luis Diaz. Really good goal indeed. It was Tecatito Corona who was bombing down the middle of the pitch. He was really good eccentric pace from the Mexican. He finds Luis Diaz, who's got bags of pace on the left-hand side. Sprays ball into the box towards the left-hand side of the post. He curls it into the back of the net. It's such a great finish. And Porto looked like they were about to run away with this game. 3-0 with about 20 minutes of action left, and the goals are flying in now. And just to make sure I am up to date with everything, I am indeed. So what a few minutes of action we've had. Porto, 3-0 to the good against Marseille. Real Madrid 2, Inter Milan 2. Of course, be interested to see there. But we're going to have to go back to KD because there's been a penalty. Who's it to, KD?
What is he doing? What is Woba doing? They've just scored to make it 2-2. And Bayern Munich have got a penalty. To be fair, it should be looked at VAR because I don't think there's much contact on Gnabry there by Woba, but the referee has given it as a penalty. Of course, I'm watching it without audio, just for the people, if you're wondering why I can't actually tell. Oh my days, it's not been given as a penalty. Yellow card, Serge Gnabry for diving. Fair play, referee. Still 2-2.
Thank you very much. Drama. We love it. We love the drama tonight in the Champions League. We've got 20 minutes left of action. It stays 2-2 for now. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Sorry for not being able to see. It's been hectic tonight, indeed. Let's have a look and see what you guys have been saying. Jocelyn saying the way Benzema didn't even have the balls to tell him break. It's awful, isn't it, with the Vinicius Junior Benzema stuff. Kyle celebrating the 2-2 between Inter and Real Madrid. Jocelyn said, I hoped for a draw in the real match. Imagine Real and Inter not reaching the UCL knockout stages. Of course, they are now 2-2 in that game. Salzburg as well, looking strong. Alexa is in the chat. How are you doing, buddy? Good evening, boys. Hope you're all well, Alexa. Nice seeing the stream as always. He said a filthy assist by Barella for the second goal, and a big up Lokomotiv Moscow for their big draw against Atletico Madrid. And look at the chat. They're loving it right now. Inter Milan 2, Real Madrid 2. What a night of action. We love it. I mean, the game between Porto and Marseille has been quite... I wouldn't say boring effect. It's had goals in it, but of course Porto dominating for large spells. But that game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan really does put pressure on Real Madrid, because looking at the group right now as it currently stands, they sit bottom on 2 points, but it's so tight because their next game they could win it and still potentially go towards the top 2. Gladbach leading on 5 points. Of course, we've got to hope that potentially Real Madrid drop a few points elsewhere. We'll have to find out. But let's go to KD, because there's been another chance in his game between Salzburg and Bayern. What a game this has been. Salzburg are not giving up, but who's the chance been?
Well, they should be 3-2 up, Josh. Okagawa finds himself in the box, in space, and his shot is just so poor. Any more power on it, and it beats Neuer. This has been such a good game. It's so end-to-end. I genuinely hope Salzburg win this. I'm not going to lie. They're coming forward now. It might be a 2-on-3. And I think Berisha's in down the right-hand side. If you can find anybody in the box, it's slowed down. But he has got his way past Hernandez. Really good recovery from the Frenchman. But yeah, what a game this has been.
What a match indeed. Take a breather, because you've got about 19 minutes left of action, and it feels like this one's going to be endless. Thank you very much, KD. Endless chances in this game for both sides between Salzburg and Bayern Munich. 2-2 as it currently stands. The Austrians holding on. We love to see it. We've always said in the chat, we love an underdog. Of course, we've got plenty of underdogs tomorrow. Tomorrow night's fixtures, of course, will be live from 7:45 once again for the Champions League. It really is underdog day tomorrow. Barcelona taking on Dinamo Kiev. Chelsea taking on Rennes. Bruges against Dortmund. Ferencváros Juventus. Could the Hungarians do it? We'll have to find out. The biggest game of the night, Leipzig PSG. And then Sevilla are taking on Krasnodar. So not many big fixtures in terms of the big teams facing off against big sides, but the underdogs, they're at it tomorrow, and we'll have to find out whether they can get some results across the board. But let's have a look at the chat, see what you guys have been saying. Of course, Bernaldo's saying about Inter, saying, come on, Inter. Kyle saying this is why VAR is brilliant in the Champions League. The Premier League could really learn from it. And I do agree with you indeed, because there has been a fair few mistakes in the past with VAR, of course, in the Premier League. It's bloody awful at times. And then, we've had loads of opportunities. I can see Kyle typing, save yourself for the effort. There you go. What's happened, Kyle?
You. Oh, it's a glorious opportunity for Inter Milan to complete the comeback. It's a long ball by Bastoni, and Ferland Mendy gets his header all wrong at the edge of the box, and he heads it straight to Lautaro. You can see what he's going to do. He's shaping for the bending effort, and he bends it towards the top corner. I'm a gasp, and it goes wide. I could not believe it, as you saw on the mini camera down below. You always see on the mini camera down below.
When we see, the thing is, for those of you that are watching, I can see below everyone's reactions. And when I see Kieran dive towards the keyboard, I know there's a chance going on. Thank you very much, Kyle. As it currently stands, Real Madrid 2, Inter Milan 2. Technically, not good for either side, this result.
No, it's not, especially after... I tell you, it was a great result for, and that's Gladbach, because if they win next time out against Shakhtar at home, they could really be out and away the group leaders, and what a result that'd be for Gladbach. But see if someone nicks it as they are going forward again. Perisic strikes a goal just past the right-hand post. I cannot believe it. Inter growing into it. Still got all 5 changes into Milan, though.
They have indeed. We'll have to find out what happens with about 15 minutes left to go. 2-2 as it currently stands. Thank you very much, KL. We are going to fly over to the game between Salzburg and Bayern Munich. Endless chances. He's had a breather. We're going to bring him back on again. Who's had the chance this time, KD?
Well, I don't think I'm allowed a breather because Salzburg should be 3-2 up again. It's Okafor finds himself in the box after a fantastic pass through from Mapwepu, who's been absolutely fantastic second half. He finds himself in the box one-on-one with Neuer. He waits. Boateng manages to get back, and then he has to try and find a yard of space against Boateng. He does find that yard of space onto his right foot, but the shot is so weak and lacking so much tenacity. If it had any power on it at all, it was 3-2 Salzburg. Oh, I can't believe they're not winning.
Unbelievable. You can have another breather now. Thank you very much, KD. Red Bull Salzburg 2, Bayern Munich 2. They are really knocking at the door in this game. I'm just looking at the stats right now. My Lord, they've had chances galore in this game to try and take the lead, and you have to give credit to them. They're a great side on their days. We said at the beginning of the show, they're a team that have had great results in the past, great European pedigree. Can they get a draw or a win against Bayern? We'll have to find out indeed. There has been a change for Bayern, though. Benjamin Pavard has come off. Bouna Sarr has come on. And in the Magician of the Night's game, it certainly died down in the second half. But Dreyer has come off. He scored the goal to put Magician back into the game. Kraev has come onto the pitch. So a few changes across the board in these games. Let's have a quick look at the comments, see how you guys are doing. But as Scott Graham got relegated to 4th official after his farcical call, I assume the Liverpool game, Liverpool-Everton match. I say give us a clean sheet and it's their first official. Oh, no, that'd be Everton game, of course. I'm guessing it was the penalty for Wilson. I didn't watch the game, so you'll have to tell me on that one. Alexis, any comment on the 6-0 win by Mönchengladbach? Incredible performance from the German side. Really dominated in that game, and Shakhtar looked quite worryingly bad, to be honest. And it was a point that I made to KL. It's the first time this season that they've actually been in a losing position, so I guess it's poor. It looked very Inter Milan-esque in terms of last season's semi-final. And then Milan's put, come on, Olympiakos, win it 3-1, because Manchester City right now, still only 1-0 to the good. We'll have to find out what happens there. There's been a plethora of changes across the board in these Champions League games. The game between Red Bull Salzburg and Bayern, Leroy Sané and Xavi Martinez have come on. Tolisso and Koeman have come off. While in the game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan, there's been a plethora of changes across the board for both sides. Sanchez and Gagliardini have both come on for Inter Milan. Barella and Perisic has come off. While for Real Madrid, Toni Kroos has come off. Luka Modric has come on. Of course, Luka Modric has been very key in the last couple of weeks. Of course, scored the winning goal in the El Clasico a few weeks ago. And then there's been a change as well in the Ajax-Magician game. Change for Ajax. Kleiber has come on. Sean Kleiber, he's come on for Mazraoui. So a few changes across the board in these fixtures tonight. As we edge towards the final 10 minutes of action in the Champions League, as the scores currently stand on the doors tonight, Manchester City still only 1-0 up against Olympiakos. In their game, it's been a tight one indeed. Porto 3-0 to the good against Marseille. Great result tonight for Porto. Of course, these two sides really had to go and get something in this fixture if they want to get through to the next stages of the Champions League. Not a good result tonight, though, for Real Madrid or Inter Milan if it stays 2-2. Both teams desperately need points, and as it currently stands, it will be Shakhtar and Gladbach going through to the next stages of the competition. But there's still time left in that game for somebody to nick a winner. Best performance of the night goes to Liverpool, 5-0 up against Atalanta. A really dominative performance from the away side. Of course, Atalanta being embarrassed tonight in their own backyard. You could even say tonight's best performance could be Salzburg as well, 2-2 against Bayern Munich. Have they got time maybe to get a winner in that game, or will they hold on for an incredible point? We'll have to find out indeed. And then Ajax, 2-1 to the good against Ajax. But we're going to have to go back to Kieran L here, because there has been a goal in that game between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. We said a moment ago that one of these sides needed to get a victory to put them back in the driving seat of their group. Who's got that goal, Kieran L?
It's Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr. is freed on the left-hand side with a through ball. He hits it first time across the box, and who's there? His Brazilian compatriot Rodrigo takes a lovely touch and hits it into the roof of the right-hand corner. And that is 3-2 to Real Madrid. Inter Milan have fought back from 2 down. With 10 minutes to go, they need to do it again.
Yeah, I've got to indeed. It's 3-2 to Real Madrid. Are they about to salvage another incredible result? We'll have to find out indeed. Thank you very much, Kale, as always. What a game of football that one has been. Incredible matches across the board. And there'll be a lot of people out there tonight that'll be gutted if Real Madrid do win this in the end. We're going to go over to KD, though, because there's a dangerous free kick. Of course, it's 2-2 in that game as well. Are we going to see a winner in this one, do you think, Kieran?
Now, if the original free kick takers for the first free kick that went straight into the wall weren't good enough, we've now got Leroy Sané on the field. And he loves a free kick from this sort of range. He is stood over the ball. He's walked away from the ball, get back on the ball. Never mind, the normal takers are back for the ball, Josh. It's about the same distance out. Lewandowski, take 2. We'll see if he can beat Stankovic this time, or in fact beat the wall this time.
Yeah, he needs to beat the wall first.
Any progression on that, Robert, and you've done well. Alaba is also there, stood over the ball. I think it will probably be Lewandowski, though. He does take it over the wall and wide. Poor free kick. And like we said, it's not been his night tonight. But it's gone for a corner, apparently, even though I never saw a deflection on the ball.
Well, we'll see what happens there. Thank you very much, KDs. It currently stands Salzburg 2, Bayern 2. It really hasn't been Robert Lewandowski's night tonight at all. But we are going to head over to Will. There has been a chance in his game.
Never mind. What a header from Jerome Boateng from the resulting corner. I didn't even know I was still here, Josh. Kimmich puts an absolute peach of a ball in from the corner, and Jerome Boateng heads it into the corner of the net. Fantastic goal, Bayern Munich, 3-2 in front. Salzburg, it's their own fault at the end of the day. They had 2 massive chances to take the lead. Bayern Munich surely now will see this out. 3-2 to the Germans.
Thank you very much, KD. Well, perfect to count you in there. Very lucky, of course, for Salzburg. It looks like they're about to lose another game 3-2. Bayern Munich about to take another crucial away victory. A very clutch one again, you have to say, indeed. And you can see from Hansi Flick's reaction, he knows that it's been a hard graft in terms of trying to break down this Salzburg side. But there's 10 minutes left. They could still get back into it. We'll have to find out indeed. But let's go over to Will, because there has been a chance in that Atalanta-Liverpool game. It's been a little bit more quiet towards the end of this second half. But who's had that chance, Will?
Yeah, there's been about 3 chances since I typed it in. First chance came for Atalanta. It's Zapata again. He had another shot on goal, but it was straight at Alisson. Alisson palmed it up, and Reece Williams, the youngster, headed it away. And then from the result of that, again, it was the chance was a carbon copy from Mo Salah's goal earlier in the game, where the ball was just booted upfield and Salah was in behind again, a foot race with the defender. But it was a brilliant save from the Atlanta goalkeeper, putting out for a corner. And then from that corner, Liverpool went short, put it into the box, and Mane had a free header from the middle of the area, straight at the goalkeeper, so it was an easy save. But yeah, 5 minutes left in this game. Liverpool have made all their subs now. I don't know if you saw, they brought Neco Williams on for Alexander-Arnold. They brought on Tsimikas, the Greek left-back who they signed in the summer from Olympiakos. He's come off for Wijnaldum. So they've made all the changes now, Liverpool. But 5 minutes left in this game. And I think it's going to stay the same, to be honest.
Thank you very much, Will. 5-0 to Liverpool. Dominant performance tonight from Liverpool, indeed. We have had a goal elsewhere. Manchester City have taken a 2-0 lead against Olympiakos. Unfortunately, the Greeks aren't going to be able to get a result tonight. Gabriel Jesus has come off the bench with a lovely finish towards the right-hand side of the post. Really awkward angle, I have to say. It's a great finish from the Brazilian. And it's been a tough performance tonight for Manchester City in terms of getting a result, but it looks like they're about to get the 3 points that will, of course, cement them with their 3-game unbeaten run in the Champions League so far. Let's go over to KL. There has been a chance in his game. It's still, of course, Real Madrid still currently in the lead against Inter Milan. Are the Italians fighting back, Kieran?
No, I thought Real Madrid had just finished the game off completely. The thing is, Vinicius Jr. is creating such a threat on the break. He's free on the left-hand side. He cuts inside, gives the ball to Vázquez, whips a cross in. It falls to Benzema, but he just completely mishits it. I think it might be De Vrij trying to put in a block, and it might have distracted him a little bit, but it's cleared off the line eventually, and I thought that was it. As Inter Milan get a free kick at about the 20 yards out. So it's up to you. You can stay with me, and we could see limbs.
We can see limbs indeed. I'm going to hold off here for a second because we could have the chance maybe for an equalising goal. Let's find out what happens. Can they do it?
I'd hope so. But yeah, back to the Benzema chance. It was cleared off the line by Stefan de Vrij. It was called back for handball, but that doesn't make it as exciting, does it? We'll just say it was cleared off the line instead. And then from that subsequent attack, to 3 people standing over the free kick. We've got Brozovic, we've got Hakimi. What a way to make up for his mistake. And Alexis Sanchez, who came on not too long ago. I remember when you went to KD, the free kick came to nothing. So I'm hoping.
Is he going to lead to a goal this time? Maybe. Maybe
we can have something a little more interesting. I know there's a goal in the chat and it's in caps, so I don't know, but don't worry, we've got the run up now, Josh. It's Alexis Sanchez from about 20 yards. Write your name. Straight into the wall. Leave me.
Oh, poor. We'll leave you, Kyle. Still currently 3-2 to Real Madrid in that game. There has been a goal, as Kyle said a moment ago. It is in KD's game between Salzburg and Bayern. Surely not 3-3, is it?
It's game over. It's 4-2, but it's an absolutely fantastic goal. And there's only one man who I would say that about, Josh. Leroy Sané curls in an absolute beauty from inside the area on his left foot. It's an absolutely fantastic goal. I'm not going to lie. Bayern Munich have been brilliant on the counter-attack all night. And it is nicked in midfield. And Leroy Sané gets it inside the box. I'm thinking he's going to shoot on his right foot, cuts back onto his left foot, bends it over the head of 2 defenders into the top right left-hand corner. Game over.
That is an exceptional goal. I've just seen it now. The way he curls it into the top left hand corner, it is not getting saved by any keeper in the world. It's an exceptional finish. And do you know what? You have to give credit to Salzburg tonight, but once again, it looks like they're coming up short. It's been a valiant effort, though.
It just comes back to those chances when it were 2-2. The chance for Okafor and the chance for Okagua. I mean, if they take those chances and they're 3-2 up going into the last 15 minutes, sorry.
Very lucky indeed, isn't it?
They could get there, but Bayern Munich thoroughly deserved it. This last 10 minutes have been absolutely phenomenal.
Fantastic performance from Bayern Munich. Thank you very much, KD. It looks like Bayern are going to run away with it now, 4-2 to the Champions League winners, and of course the German champions as well. There has been a change in the Inter Milan game. Of course, they're still 3-2 down to Real Madrid. Vidal has come off. Rajan Nainggolan, a face we haven't seen for a little while in a Inter shirt, has come onto the pitch. Can he maybe score a winner? We'll have to find out with about 5 minutes left of play across the board tonight. Let's have a quick look at the chat and see what you guys have been saying. Bernal's saying, Rodrigo with a nice banger, of course, Real Madrid winning their game. And like I said, if Bayern win this, will they have a 14-win streak? This is Kimmich's third assist, by the way, in the Bayern game. And I believe they will have a 14-win streak. It's something stupid like that, which is incredible. 14 wins in a row. Is absolutely bonkers indeed. And of course, it looks like they're now going to go on and win that game 4-2 up. So a quick look at the scores. Of course, Manchester City a moment ago, making it 2-0. Gabriel Jesus coming off the bench in that game. Great for him, of course, to come back into this side and get himself a nice, lovely goal. Porto still 3-0 up against Marseille. Good performance tonight, starting to rest some players and bring a couple of players off the pitch. Now, I think they made 3 substitutions in this match. Real Madrid still 3-2 up against Inter Milan. Of course, it was pivotal for one of these two sides to win tonight's game. Real Madrid look like they're about to take an important victory to salvage their Champions League campaign so far. It's been a very poor first 3 match days for Los Blancos. Liverpool, on the other hand, what a fantastic start to their Champions League campaign. 5 goals against Atalanta tonight. A comprehensive victory against one of the best attacking sides in Europe. Salzburg, another great performance tonight, but ultimately isn't going to be enough against the Champions League winners Bayern Munich. 4-2 victory. It looks like it's going to be for Bayern Munich. Great performance tonight, though, from both sides, you have to say. Really good, entertaining fixture. And Midtjylland, still only 2-1 to Ajax. Plenty of time for the Danish champions to try and salvage a late equaliser in this game. If not, you would surely think that is Midtjylland's campaign pretty much already over, but we'll have to see with a few minutes left as we do begin to reach the 90th minute of our fixtures tonight. This is where it gets interesting, of course, as it currently stands. The only game realistically, the only 2 games realistically to maybe have a potential last-minute winner or equaliser, of course, is Midtjylland and Real Madrid Inter Milan. So we'll keep our eyes fixated on those games. As for the other ones, pretty much comprehensive victories across the board tonight. Manchester City will maybe be a little bit disappointed they haven't scored a few more against Olympiakos, but they've got the 3 points in the end. And of course, when we do get to the end of these matches, we'll very quickly talk over the rest of the results and where the group stages are currently at. Of course, we haven't got any more games for a few weeks. We are going to go over to Run, though, because there is a free kick here. Maybe a chance for a late winner, Rowan, or an equaliser?
I've come to because, he's not in a dangerous position in terms of it is straight centre of the goal, but quite far out. Traore is coming on for Anthony as well. But I just thought there's 30 seconds left, and it's probably Midtjylland's better chance of the half because Plattler, there's been nothing of this in the second half. Just been subs. So I thought I'd come to you because it is a dangerous opportunity. Vander's standing over, I think.
Kind of put it in the back of the net.
I think he's going for a shot here. He drills it. He drills it low and hard into that bottom left corner, and Anna does all right. And he just gets down to the bottom, and he goes for a corner. And it just hits 90 minutes. It's 6 minutes at a time. We had 2 breaks. Go. There's been a goal.
There has indeed. There's been a goal. We are going to that Salzburg Bayern Munich game. Surely not, Kieran. Have Salzburg got themselves back into this game late on, or have Bayern Munich got a fifth?
No, Josh, the floodgates have well and truly opened, and I think it's a little bit harsh on RB Salzburg. They've not deserved to be beaten 5-2 on the night, but Lewandowski has finally scored. At least that's happened. It's a brilliant cross-in by Javi Martinez. Lewandowski rises and heads it back across goal. It's 5-2, but again, the counter-attacking play from Bayern Munich tonight has been absolutely exquisite, and that's another goal on the counter. And if it wasn't game over before, it is now with about 2 minutes plus added time left.
Very scary indeed, Bayern Munich. Thank you very much, Katie. It looks like, of course, well, it doesn't look like it will be a good win for Bayern Munich tonight. Of course, 5 goals on a night where they haven't really been majorly convincing. That is how scary this Bayern Munich side really is. We are into additional time now, pretty much across the board in the majority of the games. Porto Marseille's got about 4 minutes of additional time. A good win for Porto, of course. We'll talk about these games a little bit more when we do get into the last when the games have actually finished. Of course, we could talk about the statistics and things like that on what has been an incredible day of Champions League fixtures. Goals galore, you have to admit, across the board tonight. I mean, I'm kind of glad I didn't put the Manchester City game on because that's the one with the lowest amount of goals tonight and probably the worst one across the board. But really good games and really good opportunities across the board. In fact, talking about it, there has been a goal in that Manchester City Olympiakos game, and it looks like maybe it might have salvaged itself here. The question is, who is it to? The answer, Manchester City, of course. They are now 3-0 to the good, and as I said, not a comprehensive result tonight in terms of how they've played, but the important thing, of course, is that they have got a victory, and I'm just seeing the actual opportunity now and the goal and how it's been scored, and it's a fantastic effort, I have to admit, and it is a long-range effort for about 25, 30 yards out from João Cancelo, curls it into the bottom left-hand corner. There's no chance Jose Sarri is going to be able to stop that, and that is probably claimed goal of the night, in my opinion. Really, really good goal from the Portuguese fullback. And Manchester City have 3 goals in their game, and that means every fixture tonight has had at least 3 goals. We love to see it in the Champions League. Now we are getting towards full-time in some of the games. Full-time in that game between Liverpool and Atalanta. We will come over to Will in a little moment's time, of course. There was an offside goal, which we'll talk to Will about in a little moment when all of the games do get to full time. It's also looking like there's 2 minutes added on in that game between Red Bull Salzburg and Bayern Munich. Of course, Bayern Munich look like they're going to get a comprehensive victory on a night where they didn't really look comprehensive. And attacking-wise, they've just been fantastic on the counter-attack. There was a chance in that game between Real Madrid and Inter, but it's full-time. Real Madrid have got themselves their first 3 points on the board this season in the Champions League, and it was a big night. Of course, they had to go out there and get a victory, and they have done that indeed. Of course, we'll come to Kieran in a moment, but we're going to go to Rome because there's been a penalty shout and a chance in that game between Midtjylland and Ajax. Take it away.
Well, there's 3 minutes left, and it comes from a corner way before it gets cleared out. Evander heads it back in. Kraev jumps up, flicks it into the box, and Vibes turning. And I don't know who it is. Holds Vibes' hand, but lets go when Vibes turning. Vibe goes down. Penalty referee immediately waves off. But there was a chance immediately where Ajax are just giving away so many free kicks now. Like, I think it's been 6 in the past 2 minutes, something stupid like that. And there's a really dangerous free kick here. Evander is going to stand over it again. Yeah, this one's way more dangerous than the other one. Thing is, one thing that Midtjylland have got, they have got big centre-backs and Kraev on the pitch.
Can they make the
Evander
most of it?
He goes all the way to the back post. It's kept in, but it's cleared immediately by Ajax. But they'll take the ball for the throw-in. They'll take it quick. They're still in an attacking area here. They can definitely be a goal. Cross comes in. Cleared by Ajax. Cleared by David Klassen.
I'll jump back to you in a second because there has been a goal elsewhere, Rowan. Of course, a few minutes left of that. Question is in that Salzburg Bayern game, is it a sixth?
Oh, yes, it's a sixth. It's Hernandez. Again, don't know which one. I always get them mixed up. Rifles it into the corner of the net. Ramalho, I was giving praise to earlier. Maybe I'll take that praise back because he's just absolutely hashed a clearance straight back to Hernandez's feet. It's a fantastic finish. I'm not going to lie, from Hernandez into the roof of the net. 6-2 Bayern Munich, and yeah, it's harsh on Salzburg. I'm not going to lie, but it's a really good goal.
It's very harsh indeed, but 6 goals for Bayern Munich. Thank you very much, Kelly. We'll come back to you in a moment when that game is finished, of course, and talk through everything. Let's go back to Rowan because there is only one more game left playing tonight. It is Midtjylland Ajax. Of course, Bayern Munich is still playing. Can Midtjylland salvage a late equaliser?
50 seconds left, and Tadic did take it to the corner. And they're going to take it to the corner again. They got a free kick. Tadic is going to hold it there. Goes out for another Ajax throw-in. Tadic is taking his time. This should be a yellow card for time wasting, surely. Because Tadic has just dropped the ball. No, he's just telling to hurry up. Klassen genuinely doing shithouse football and just cleaning the ball. Still not throwing it. He's just done well there to waste 10 seconds. Tadic has got the ball in the corner. There's 9 seconds left. It's another Ajax throw-in. Klassen will give the ball another clean just to make sure if it's properly clean. We've hit the 6-minute mark and the whistle goes. I think if you're Midtjylland there, you put up a right fight, just unfortunate.
Very fortunate indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. We'll bring you back in a moment because that is that on the night. Full-time scores across the board on what has been, you have to say, one of probably the best Champions League nights so far this season. Incredible. Every game had 3 goals plus on a night full of action. Full-time scores, you can see on the bottom of your screen. Earlier today, we had Lokomotiv Moscow play against Atletico Madrid, a fantastic 1-1 draw for the Russian side. Gladbach hit Shakhtar Donetsk for 6 goals. What a performance from Gladbach, 6-0 win for them. And then tonight's fixtures across the board tonight. Manchester City 3, Olympiakos 0. FC Porto 3, Marseille 0. Real Madrid with a big victory against Inter Milan, a 3-2 win. Dominant performance there. Well, both sides played very well indeed, but Real Madrid is the better of the two. Liverpool with a fantastic performance, 5 goals against an attacking Atalanta side. Bayern Munich, they beat Salzburg 6-2, but if you look at the stats, it was an interesting game indeed. It wasn't all Bayern's way. And then finally, of course, we spoke to Rowan a moment ago. Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. So that is the full-time scores across the board. But I'm saying great games tonight, incredible across the board. And let's very quickly talk to the boys about their games. We will start off, in fact, with the first 2 games that I covered. Manchester City, Olympiakos, of course. They beat Olympiakos 3-0 tonight. They had 20 shots, 7 on target. João Cancelo with a lovely goal to end the game off. Really, really good long-range effort from the Portuguese fullback. Olympiakos tonight, you expected them to probably get beat 3-0. It wasn't really an impressive performance from Manchester City tonight, but the important thing is they got 3 goals, very similar to the Marseille game, came out with a result. They stay top of the table, unbeaten in their group, because in the group as well with them is Porto and Marseille, a 3-0 victory for Porto tonight. And, well, Marseille didn't have a single shot on target. They had 7 shots, none on target. They dominated possession, but ultimately Porto played on the counter-attack at home. It worked incredibly well for them, and a fantastic performance means that, as it currently stands in Group C, Manchester City, of course, top of the group with 9 points, 3 games unbeaten. Porto in second on 6 points. Olympiakos in third on 3 points. And Marseille sit bottom of their group on 0 points. Let's talk with Kieran L. What a game this was between Real Madrid and Inter Milan. Real Madrid, they had to get a victory tonight, as did Inter Milan. And, well, what a performance tonight from Zidane's side.
An absolutely a fantastic performance, but you've got to be wary because, again, they've conceded 2 goals, which at home, last time they conceded 3. The second group game, they conceded 2. You can't win a Champions League conceding 2 every game. So they need to address that and quickly as well. But overall, they'll be happy. It was the substitutes that made the difference. You spoke to me at half-time what they could change. I said, bring on Rodrigo. And, I didn't say Vinicius because Benzema don't like him. But they're the 2 that made the difference in the end. But overall, just a fantastic game. And I cannot believe Inter Milan are bottom of this group.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy group. In fact, to give you a rundown, of course, Shakhtar played earlier today. As it currently stands in this group, Gladbach are still top of their group on 5 points. As it currently stands, Shakhtar still stays second on 4 points. Real Madrid in third on 4 points. Of course, head-to-head, Shakhtar did better than Real Madrid, so it means they stay second. Inter Milan, bottom, on 2 points. They've got a lot of work to do, but it's a very tight group.
Yeah, there's only 3 points separating, every single team in this group. I think the next round of fixtures, they go alternate ways, and this group could be the group to watch with 2 weeks to go. But I worry about Inter Milan because, again, that draw against Shakhtar last week, that proves how poor of a result that really was, because it has left them rooted to the bottom of the group. But 11 goals in this group tonight. Can you believe it?
Can't complain one bit. Fantastic night of action. Thank you very much, Kyle. Bring you back in a little moment. Of course, Real Madrid winning their game 3-2. Very good performance indeed from Los Blancos tonight. Let's go over to Will. What a performance tonight from Liverpool against Atalanta. We expected this to be a thrilling game in goals. It delivered goals, but maybe not the way people expected it.
No, and I did not expect it to be such a one-sided affair. Liverpool dominated from the first whistle. We've said many times already tonight that Atalanta they gave up so much space to Liverpool, and Liverpool counter-attacked it and they exploited it. They pressed high with Atalanta. The one thing I thought messed up with Atalanta was they had a very high line, but they weren't pressing, so it wasn't counteracting that. So Liverpool could take their time to play the balls in behind, and with the pace they've got on the attack, they were absolutely destroying Atalanta. And there was an offside goal late in the game it was for Atalanta. It was for Zapata, but it was offside, so it didn't obviously count. But yeah, a 5-star performance from Liverpool. 5 goals. That's now 8 goals in the group, 0 conceded. They sit top on 9 points. They'll have Atalanta over in the next one. But yeah, this was a fantastic performance for Liverpool going into the big game at the weekend against Man City.
Absolutely. Really big confidence booster, and even big confidence booster for Diogo Jota. Hat-trick tonight. Of course, Liverpool fans will be loving him. Do you expect him to start against Man City at the weekend?
Very hard to drop him now after scoring a hat-trick. I think he will start. Just Liverpool looks so dynamic with him in the team. Bobby Firmino's still a great player, but they bring different things. Jota's traits are much different to Bobby Firmino's traits. But with that City defence looking a bit shaky this season so far, having Diogo Jota there as well as Mane and Salah, who always want to get in behind, they always want to press. It's going to be a tough task for City, I think. But Liverpool, if they go into the City game with the mindset they did tonight, with just no fear and just going at the team, then there's no reason why they can't beat City. But yeah, I do expect Jota to definitely start against City the weekend.
Well, we'll talk about that City game in a little moment's time, but a good performance tonight from Liverpool, 5-0 win against Atalanta. Thank you very much, Will. We will go to the other game that goes on in the group alongside Atalanta and Liverpool. Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. Ajax, they had a tough test tonight against Midtjylland. All the goals came early on, but Rowan, it wasn't a game that was short of action, was it?
No, it was a game of 2 halves. One half, incredible, great lot of goals, great football. Second half, boring. There's not much more you can say. Ajax did what they needed to do. They got them 2 goals early, and then they just sat back, really. Midtjylland did well. They really did put up a fight, considering you're in a mild group of death. You are in a group of death, I think. And to cause Ajax 2-1, and at points play them off the field with this Ajax team who will come, because that's practically the starting 11 who got the big 13-0 win, who got the, I think, 4-2 win, 4-1 win at the weekend. They've done well. They have really done well.
They have indeed. Good performance from them tonight. And to just very quickly go through the group in terms of how it looks, currently Group D, as Will said a moment ago, Liverpool on top of the group right now, 9 points, 8 goals, non-conceded. Fantastic start for Liverpool, of course, looking like they're going to cruise away in this group already. Second place is Ajax, as it stands on 4 points, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, not a bad start. Atalanta in third on 4 points, just a worse goal difference means they drop into third. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. And then Midtjylland, of course, it looks like their campaign pretty much is nearly over. No wins, no draws, 3 losses. Only 1 goal scored, 8 goals conceded. But as you said, Rowan, tonight, they did very well indeed to stay up with a very good Ajax side.
They showed heart. They didn't stop Dreyer giving it until the time he came off. Them 2 centre-backs did not stop. That's why it was 2-1. It was them 2 centre-backs, Svetchenko and Schultz, putting in effort. Anderson, before he came off, had a great shift. And they could take this momentum. I mean, they're still not out. 3 wins and you're through. Really, based on Atalanta and Ajax results, 3 wins and you're through. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough to get some points. But if they play like the way they played today, there's a chance that they can at least get 1 point.
Thank you very much, Rowan. As it currently stands, of course, Magician sat bottom. Can they do what Atalanta did last year? We'll have to find out indeed. But Ajax with a result tonight, a very good result indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. And then, of course, we'll go over to the last game. It probably is one of the best games of the night in terms of the actual attacking action. Bayern Munich 6, Red Bull Salzburg 2. Well, they didn't dominate this game tonight, Bayern Munich. There was really good parts of play where Red Bull Salzburg dominated the game themselves. But ultimately, KD, what a match tonight. What a thrilling game of football. You must be glad you picked this one.
Oh, yeah, what a match. And yeah, I am glad I picked this one, I'm not going to lie. I think Salzburg, it is, like I said, it's a little bit harsh on them as the 6-2 scoreline. They played better than the scoreline suggests. A lot of people look at that and think, well, Bayern Munich is just doing what Bayern Munich do, absolutely smashing teams. But I think the goals came because in the last 10, 11 minutes when Bayern Munich went 3-2 up, Salzburg, their heads kind of dropped. They pushed forward a lot more, of course, searching for the equaliser. And as soon as it went 4-2, the game was over and the game was done. And then it was like Bayern Munich just piling on the counter-attacks. And that's why it ended 6-2, to be honest. And I mean, it's credit to Hansi Flick. I mean, when you can bring the likes of Javi Martinez, Leroy Sané, Douglas Costa off the bench, you're going to frighten any team. Unlucky for Salzburg, of course, tonight, but they've still got the chance of getting through with Atletico Madrid drawing earlier.
That's absolutely correct. Of course, Atletico Madrid drawing early means that as it currently stands in Group A, Red Bull Salzburg, they are bottom of the group on 1 point as it currently stands. Third place, Lokomotiv Moscow, no wins but 2 draws, 2 very good draws indeed. Of course, one against Salzburg themselves. They sit on 2 points. Atletico Madrid dropping points there means they're only on 4 in second. As you would expect, Bayern Munich sat top, 9 points, unbeaten, 12 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. They are running away with things. But for Red Bull Salzburg, as we said a moment ago, when you look at the table, they're still well within a shout of getting through. Do you think they can get through to the Champions League, or do you think that Europa League spot will be theirs?
It's going to be a big, big ask, but they need to beat Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid. It's a massive task to go to it's a massive task to beat Bayern Munich in general, but to go to the Allianz and beat Bayern Munich is an even bigger task. Do they have to go to Atletico Madrid? No.
No.
No, if they beat Atletico Madrid on their own ground, I'm confident that they can beat Lokomotiv Moscow. It just depends on what Atletico Madrid do. There is a massive chance. I think probably for Salzburg, the aim is probably to get into the Europa League and see how far they can get in there, because they could potentially have a good chance at winning that. If they play like they did tonight and they play like they did against Atletico Madrid, there's a real good chance. They're a good side. They have good attacking players. They're just a little bit too offensive when they go forward, I think.
It was a good performance for them, but ultimately Bayern Munich, not their most convincing tonight, but they still scored 6. That's how scary this Bayern Munich side really is. Thank you very much, KD. Let's bring all the boys back in, of course. We're just going to very quickly have a look at what's still to come on the channel over the next few weeks. So do keep your eyes out, because there's loads of content still to come. Of course, tomorrow night, we're back with Group C to H, Matchday 3 from 7:45. So do keep your eyes out for that indeed. Hopefully more goals. Thursday's pick of the bunch of the Europa League is Benfica versus Rangers. That's live from 5:45. And then we've got a big weekend of Bundesliga action. Werder Bremen versus Cologne is on Friday from 7 o'clock. Plenty of Bundesliga action means that on Saturday, big one, Dortmund Bayern. That's 5:15. Kickoff at 5:30 should be a very good match indeed between both the top sides. And then you've got a choice, because Manchester City Liverpool is at 4:15 in the Premier League. And then alongside that, we'll also be covering Leverkusen Gladbach at the same time. That kicks off at 5 o'clock. So there'll be 2 games we'll be covering on a big weekend of action in the Bundesliga and in the Premier League as well. So do keep your eyes out, because there's lots of content still come on the channel as always. But what a night of action. Really, really good Champions League. Plenty of goals, plenty of interesting decisions, really good finishes as well. We had some good goals from the likes of Cancelo and Martinez. And we all got very good games at the end, which is something that very rarely happens indeed. But thank you very much as always, Will, KD, KL, and Rowan for joining. Very greatly appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. And as for everybody watching the stream, if you are new as always, do leave a like and a subscription. It's always very greatly appreciated, as always, whether you're watching this live on the replay. But as for now, have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and we will see you again soon. Good night.